The state had no plans of opposing his release on bail. However, playing hide and seek with law enforcement and not providing an accurate address has landed him behind bars. He provided 3 addresses, all proving to be false. In one instance, he blamed his alleged landlord for writing a wrong address on a lease agreement. His lawyer, William Sikanja, says it was an honest mistake.
There's 3 4s, there's 1 5. You understand? So it was just a matter of 4544 or 454. The address was provided to us in an affidavit by the wife of the applicant.
The state is expected to disclose information in the docket today, while Mokgotse's team are expected to bring an appeal application to take this fight to the High Court. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
Gauteng Traffic Police Chief Inspector Samuel Mashaba is set to return to the Madlanga Commission this morning to continue presenting evidence on a major drug bust. Mashaba spent most of yesterday in the hot seats answering questions about his presence in the south of Johannesburg when police seized more than 700 kilograms of cocaine in 2021. The Commission has questioned why a traffic police officer was involved in processing a large-scale drug bust, a function normally handled by the South African Police Services units. Mashaba, however, maintains that he had the authority to be at the scene. Alfred Mushwana reports.
Gauteng Traffic Police Officer Chief Samuel Mashaba claims he received a tip-off from his so-called informant, Tumelo Nku, about a truck transporting cocaine from Durban to Johannesburg. Mashaba told the Madlanga Commission that because he had been tracking the consignment, he considered the success of the operation to be his own and believed he should have been involved in processing the scene. When the Commission's chairperson, Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, asked whether he understood the differing responsibilities of a traffic officer and an SAPS cop, this was his response.
There is no difference in being a traffic officer and being a policeman because we work under one boss, that is the state, but given different duties.
What's crucial is exactly the difference in duties.
Yesterday, commissioners appeared visibly frustrated after Mashaba claimed to have forgotten the context of almost all his WhatsApp messages that were screened at the commission. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
The Automobile Association of South Africa says the Kia Sonet and the GWM Jolion have failed standard safety tests. The findings are included in the latest Safer Cars for Africa program, in which the association crash-tested 34 entry-level models. It says it uses a 5-star rating system to measure vehicle structure, airbags and electronic safety features. AA CEO Bobby Ramagwede warns that any car scoring below 3 stars is considered to be a fail.
Today, it's with great disappointment that we announce that the Kia Sonet has received a 1-star adult protection rating and the GWM Jolion received a 2-star adult protection rating. Now, in the eyes of the AA, that's a fail. We generally recommend to consumers that if a vehicle scores anything under 3 stars, that they should just not buy that vehicle.
And some South Africans have expressed disappointment in Bafana Bafana's performance during the opening match of the FIFA World Cup with Mexico. South Africa's campaign got off to a difficult start after going down 2-0 to hosts Mexico at the iconic Estadio Azteca Stadium. Despite the setback, it's the only first match of the tournament, with Bafana still having an opportunity to fight their way back. Here's what some fans had to say about the performance.
They hardly attacked. There was no cohesion between the defenders and the midfielders. Our forwards never got any shots at goal even.
They played like thugs. They really played like thugs. They were fouling unnecessarily. I don't know where they come from all of a sudden. They never used to play like that.
The body language, that is my problem now. Don't they know that they are in a competition?
Gold is trading at $4,178.23 an ounce. The rand is at 16.53 to the dollar, 21.87 to the pound, 18.87 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $88.58 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is between Linksfield Road and Modderfontein Road. Traveling on the southerly direction of this route, there's an accident scene right after Marlborough Drive. Delays all the way to Modderfontein Road.
A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 22 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Self-proclaimed political fixer Brian Mokgotse is set to return to the Johannesburg Magistrates Court this morning to bring an application to appeal a decision denying him bail.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Visit primemediaplus.com to enter 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. Hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for our Jozi.
For Joburg, by Joburg, in Joburg.
Bamise bonke.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, happy Friday. Welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. It's great to have you with us here on 702. I hope you're well this morning and I hope you've had a wonderful week and that you're ready for the weekend. Every Friday, we do Gratitude Friday. This is where you can call us and tell us what you're grateful for this week. Tell us what happened this week that put a smile on your face. Something that happened this week that you are so grateful for, whether it's a big or a small win. You can give me a call on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. Can we send some well wishes and some love this morning for the Comrades runners? The ultimate human race is taking place on Sunday. And as you know, we have a huge community of runners throughout 702 land. A lot of them are already in Durban ahead of Comrades. Some of us are heading to Durban today. It's quite an important weekend for us runners. We have been training since this year started, and Sunday we embark on that journey. So please wish us well, pray for us, meditate for us, spend impepo for us, for our well-being, just for us not to get sick also between today and Sunday. And those who are sick must be able to recover quick. Pray that we avoid injuries, because there's nothing as worse as training for so long only for you to get sick and get an injury closer to your marathon. So please send us some positive vibes for us fellow runners this morning. 011-883-0702. Send your WhatsApps as well. 072-702-1702. And if you're running Comrades, let me know how you're feeling. Are you ready? Or maybe you're going to Durban to support your loved ones who are running. Are you looking forward to it? Are you already in Durban? Give me a call or send me a WhatsApp voice note or drop a comment on YouTube. And then, Bafana versus Mexico. What a disappointing performance from our boys. Did you watch the game? Where did we go wrong? We need a proper diagnosis so that we can have a better game plan with our next matches. I mean, this win wasn't because of what Mexico did. It came through the mistakes Bafana made. I mean, if you look at how Mexico played, they were so professional, they were so precise, and they were in control throughout the match. And honestly, and I know that may be a little unfair for the coach, but I think the problem here is Hugo Bruce. His plan did not make sense at all. There was zero intentions to attack. We were playing defense too much. In fact, from the first whistle, we were playing defense. So the tactical plan was just too weak. And someone was saying, which I really agree with completely, Sundowns play position football. Pirates play attacking football. So why on earth would the coach go and defend from the first whistle when he could play to the player's strengths? Like, why do you deploy a 5-defender system built around that 3-man centre-back trio? So I'm putting this on Hugo Bruce. I don't know about you. This was just poor decision-making from the coach all round. We should have played our game instead of retreating and showing Mexico that we are scared of them. And we're not going to make it out of the group stages with that attitude. Listen to what Hugo Bruce said after the match, because he seems to think we played a fairly good game.
Coach Hugo, unfortunate results this. Maybe if I can take you into your confidence with regards to the plan. Obviously, the result says it didn't work out, but you were confident that you would get something out of it.
I think we played a very good game, except maybe the first 15 minutes there was pressure from Mexico. They had some little chances, but not so much. But after that, I think Mexico was some moments in the game desperate. They didn't find spaces, they didn't find players, they played back, they played their weight. So I think we did very good the first half, except that one moment we lost the ball on our 16. You can never dribble there in that position. So yeah, the Bocho lost the ball, immediately there was space and they scored. Same thing the second half. We lost the ball in the middle of the field. Also on a moment we don't have to lose that ball there. Deep ball immediately. Okay, penalty normally, red card normally. But the second red card I'm not so sure. I think it was the Mexican player who blocked Zwane. And yes, okay, the referee saw it differently. But I don't think it was really a red card for that.
Yeah, look. He must just take responsibility here. I mean, were we watching the same match? He says, we played fairly well. This loss was our own making. But hey, it's the first match of the tournament, so we must use the opportunities we have next to fight back. Honestly, if it wasn't for Ronwen Williams and his brilliant saves, I don't know where we would be. I think that's what kept Bafana in the game. What are your reflections on the game? 011-883-0702. Send me your WhatsApps as well. I think we're back in action, a week from now? 18th. We're playing next on the 18th of June, so we better have our ducks in a row. And then I want to hear from you this morning about nightclub nostalgia. I read a beautifully written article in the Mail and Guardian this morning reflecting on nightclub nostalgia in the country, and it speaks about some of the prominent clubs that defined South African culture in the 80s and the 90s, clubs like Colours, Skyline. Baba Black Sheep is fairly new, but I mean, it's still a place that some people reference, even though it's not a nightclub, like Bongani said. But to me, it looked like a nightclub because I've been to Baba Black Sheep. Apparently, it's no longer around, by the way. But I've been to Baba Black Sheep, and everybody, it was at night, and it was probably at midnight, and everyone was standing. There's no place to sit, and there's loud music. For me, anything that sounds like that is a club. But hey, apparently not a nightclub. There was Carfax in Johannesburg, and then in Durban, I mean, the era was defined by clubs like Joe Cool, Ruby Tuesday. I remember Ekakasini. Have you ever been to Ekakasini? In the early 2000s, like in Durban, that was the place to be. I remember when I was, I think, a final year student or my first year working, I traveled with friends and we got to Durban and we went to Ekakasini, and it was really one of the best places to be at. A little dodgy, but on the dodgy side, but still cool. But that was back in the day when we were young. It was the hottest place. I mean, Cape Town used to have clubs like Club Eden, the Waiting Room. And these are just but some of the places many people used to frequent during those times. And I would like to know, which clubs do you often reminisce about? Those places that were that's where the vibe is. And that's where you used to go, whether it's in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 70s, maybe in the 2000s. Or which places do you enjoy going to now? What are the places that are popping, especially for people who enjoy the nightlife? Do you still go to clubs? What are the places that are currently the places to be, even here in Johannesburg? And even if you don't go to clubs anymore, do you know people who still go? Honestly, because we were talking with producers this morning, I was like, but do people still go to clubs? I'm not sure if it's still as popular as that. And the suggestion I got from one of the producers is that it's the older men mostly who go to clubs. But do older women also still go to clubs? Apparently not. Let me know, please. And please, let's reflect on some of these places that used to be banging back in the days, or the places that are the it places now. Some nostalgia there. 011-883-0702 is the number to dial. At 10 o'clock, we're going to do the Across the Desk feature. Today, I'm hosting social workers on Across the Desk. And then at 11 o'clock, we're going to do our relationship feature. Today, we'll do a sex and intimacy Q&A. So we've brought you our quarterly sexual health Q&A, where we tackle everything from sexual wellness and reproductive health. Today, we're bringing in an expert to answer all your questions concerning sex, intimacy, and connection and desire in long-term relationships. That's the show coming up over the next 3 hours.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Hola, you calling from Sandton. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Clement.
You
know, with regards to yesterday's game, I know everybody's going to wax lyrical about the setup, the tactics, and so on.
Yeah.
But there's another element that I think needs to be discussed here, and that's the psychological side.
Yeah.
You know, when I saw the guys come out, they just didn't have it.
There was
in their
no
face.
confidence.
There was no belief.
Yeah.
There was just nothing. And it transmitted in the way they played and in the errors that they made.
Yeah.
And what also didn't help was, if you looked at the Mexican technical team, the coach was on his feet, barking out instructions. And then Hugo Bruce just sat there
Chilling.
like he was watching Days of Our Lives. And I couldn't understand why he couldn't get up and just inject some oomph into these guys.
Especially because he's the one that needed to be up and screaming and pacing up and down.
Exactly. And I mean, you, Clement, as somebody that's run Comrades multiple times, know that there's a talent aspect and there's a physical aspect. But there's a part of the Comrades where the psychology, your mental state
Takes over.
in.
Yeah. Your
And
body
the
can't
guys-
do anything anymore.
Exactly. And the guys, somebody there should have just said, you know what, I'm taking over the game. Whatever the tactics are, I need to be the one. Can I stand up and be counted? And not a single player there, to me, showed any fight. And I think that's something that needs to be addressed, to say, guys, you're on the world stage. Yes, the coach has put a plan. These are the tactics. But somebody there just has to have a bit of fight and a bit of dog in them to say, I want to win.
Yeah. So what do we do next?
I think what we do next is, well, there's nothing much we can do next. It's more about what Hugo Bruce.
We need to win all these matches we're going to play now and hope that Mexico also wins.
He needs to just change the team, but above all, give the guys the belief that you're not here to just participate. You actually can win. You actually can. I mean, the Sundowns players, they've won a CAF Champions League twice now. And they've shown that, you know what, we can punch well above our weight.
Yeah.
We can beat the top teams in Africa. Why can't we get these guys on the world stage to say, you know what, guys, we're here now. Let's believe in ourselves.
Yeah, let's hope that they'll get that belief for the next matches. Thank you for your call in Sandton. Let's go to Chief, who's calling us also from Sandton. Chief, good morning.
How's it, Clement? I'm not going to talk about the game, but I want to wish you guys, Comrades runners, all the best for Sunday. Take an inspiration from me. I've done Comrades barefoot.
What?
So yes, I have. I've written a book, Clement, Barefoot to Comrades. So
Jeez,
go have a look.
Chief, that's amazing. I'll check it out, man.
Yeah. I've met you 702 walk the talk in Pretoria last year.
Ah,
yeah, but all the best, man. All the best. And Peter, I can't do it this year because of work schedule. But I'll be back next year. I'll be back with a bang.
Yeah, I mean,
All
it's
the
a
best,
big
man.
day.
All the
It's a
best.
big year
It
next
is,
year,
it
hey?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, thank you so much,
yeah.
Chief. Yeah, thank you for the well wishes there. Mpo, you are in Midrand. Hi.
Good day, Clement. How are you?
Hey, sharp, man. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. Yeah, man. The game yesterday, I think the boys were nervous, They were nervous.
Yeah.
And, you know, somehow I agree with Coach Bruce when he says they played well, but that would be in the first maybe 10 minutes or so, because what I thought he'd do when he realized that Mexico is not that strong, I thought he's going to make a few changes and start attacking them. You know, maybe pull out one defender and then pull out Sithole as well, and then put in two attacking players, because I think Mexico started well the first 5 minutes, but then we started gaining some bit of momentum. So I thought he's going to try and change the match, but yeah, I think he lost it. I think he lost it as well.
Yeah.
I think he lost it. Yeah, and the international players that he brought in, they didn't show up. The only player that showed up was Umbogas. He played really well. he was fighting at the back and in the middle as well.
I mean, Ronwen Williams, those saves also saved us, Mpo,
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Mpo, in Midrand, thank you. Mohau, you are in the Val. What's your club nostalgia?
Hey, easy by night.
Was that the name of the place?
Yeah, it was in Katlehong.
Sounds a bit Dodge.
Easy by night.
Yeah. What was happening there at Easy by Night?
Yeah. Oh, hey, Brenda Fassi.
Is it?
Hey, it was good. It was nice.
Was it in the 70s, in the 80s?
Yeah. I think up to the 90s. I don't remember, 90s maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Interesting.
It was very good.
Okay, Mohau in the Val. Thank you so much. So, Easy by Night, a club in Katlehong. Anyone remember that? I'd like to know. Check out this piece in the Mail and Garden. It's written so beautifully and it reflects on nightclub nostalgia in the country. And it mentions some quite old clubs that were the hottest places to be at, not just in Johannesburg, but looks at Durban, looks at Cape Town and other areas as well, Eastern Cape. So what are those places for you that used to be the banging places? Huh? Let me know. 011-883-0702. It's 22 now, after 9.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Hi, Clement. Amazing show as always. When it comes to clubs, Momo Pitori, Kakona Bosman, and Church Mo Central. There's a place was known as Groove Shack. Then they changed it to Channel M. That was
Channel
Club
M.
Africa.
Yes.
The Page, Navigator, Kasi GP, Abeziwa Rof, Pimelo from Pretoria.
Yeah, Pimela. I think I remember that. Tell me, there was a place in Pretoria. Everybody knew it. It's like Imokoneng. So it's between Sunnyside and like town, just before you get directly into town, and before you really get deep into Sunnyside. It used to be like there were a few places in that yard. It was a big yard with like 4 or 5 different clubs or lounges there. What was it called? Does anybody remember that place? I'm just forgetting the name. It's not far from the DTI offices in Sunnyside. And it's just before you go between town and Sunnyside. It was somewhere on a corner. That was one of the banging places as well when we were students living in Sunnyside. What are those places that you think of back in the day that were hot? And what are the places today that people go to? 24 after 9.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
How is the investigation going, Lieutenant General? This happened Tuesday night. I appreciate it's early days, but I also know that a successful sort of early arrest has a better chance of resulting in a successful prosecution.
We managed to get in one of, I would say, material which will help us in terms of the video footage, except the garage itself. The team is systematically following the lead.
Lieutenant General Tommy Mtombeni, the Gauteng Provincial Commissioner.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
Guillain-Barré syndrome threatened to take everything from Sada Padiachi, his mobility, his independence, and his future. Recovery was long and brutal, but Sada came back not just to walking, but to running. This comrade's every step he takes is a declaration. He runs for the second chance he almost didn't get. As the 2026 Comrades Marathon approaches, Cell C is asking, what are you running for? Tell them by tagging them at Cell C on social media.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle, choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
You know when your people are giving their best, not because they're pushed or pressured,
but because they feel supported. And support is making sure they're covered. So if something happens, they can get the care they need. FlexiCare Health Insurance makes it simple for every business to protect their people with affordable health cover. You care, we cover. For a tailored FlexiCare quote, speak to your financial advisor today. FlexiCare is underwritten by ANG, a licensed non-life insurer and FSP, and administered by Discovery Health, a licensed FSP.
Gauteng is currently experiencing high water consumption. To avoid water interruptions, residents are urged to use water sparingly to allow equitable supply. Act now, save water. Every drop counts. This message is brought to you by the Department of Water and Sanitation, Rand Water, Gauteng Provincial Government, City of Johannesburg, City of Tshwane, and City of Ekurhuleni.
You've taken your small business far. Nedbank and 702 can help you take it even further.
How important is it that a campaign like Nedbank Business Ignite recognizes not only entrepreneurs but people who solve problems?
It is important because being an entrepreneur can be a lonely journey. You go through a lot of challenges, and when you do have those victories, there's no one to recognize you. This competition definitely does that. And what we're doing differently this year, we actually decided to touch base with our past winners to find out what they've done since winning the competition. I mean, my mind was blown in terms of what these guys have achieved.
Nedbank Business Ignite with 702. Enter now on primemediaplus.com or igniteyourbusiness.co.za and you could win 200,000 Rand. T's and C's apply. See money differently. Nedbank, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Your voice. Your station. Your open line. Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela on 702.
28 minutes after 9 o'clock.
Clement, that place in Sunnyside, I think it's House 22.
Yes.
But I remember House 22 was inside that yard.
Yes.
Where it had like 3-4 clubs or restaurants inside it. I think it was called House 22. I once worked there doing promotions and it was packed, really packed.
Yeah, I remember that it was House 22. Yes, it was House 22. Oh, that was the place. But also, when we were students, like my friends used to think of that place as like the place to go to also to meet like the hottest people from Joburg. So that place, like there were a lot of like hottest of the hottest from Joburg who were coming to House 22. So my friends often used to say, let's go there. Meet some Johannesburg hands. It was so interesting back in the day. More WhatsApps.
Hi, Clement. Sabeleya. As an 80s baby, I remember clubs like Who's Who, Monaco, Melville, the entire 7th Avenue, clubs like Transkei. The nightlife was just there. Bokets, pajamas. Everybody who's born in the 80s and lived around Joburg, you will know all those places.
Cats Pajamas. Who remembers that? That was the place. In fact, Cats Pajamas, I think people used to go on Melville Street in Melville, 7th Avenue, né? And is it still is it still a place?
I haven't heard anybody talking about going down to Melville for a good time, not in recent days.
I wonder what happened. But yeah, we used to go to like Melville, and then when we're bored by Melville, then we end up at Cat's Pajamas. That used to be the place. Here's the last one.
Hi, Clement. Amazing show as always. When it comes to clubs, Momo Pitori, Kakona Bosman, and Church Mu Central. As a place was known as Groove Shack, then they changed it to Channel M.
Hey, morning, Madimecha. This is Sorimo from the Val. Yes, regarding the club, Sumorena. Yeah, I remember in Joburg, back in the days, I think there was this, your club Carnalita, your club Wuzu. Carnalita, I think it was in Pretoria, and Wuzu, I think it was around Midrand or so, and you come to the Val. Vale Kokas is booking. There was this one called Hollywood in booking zone 12, and the other one in zone 11. I think it was called Munyaka by Night. Yeah, Munyaka by Night. Hola, Clemito.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. More of your WhatsApps and calls on nightclub nostalgia, but also on that match between Bafana and Mexico. I'm also taking your calls and WhatsApps on what you are grateful for this week. And let's not forget wishing our comrades runners well and sending them some love. Sfiso, good morning.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. The Public Service Commission has issued a directive to the heads of state departments warning about interactions with politicians outside of their accountability responsibilities. It follows a complaint from the DA about the attendance of officials at meetings of the ANC's parliamentary study groups, which are held in preparation of official committee meetings. After investigating the complaint, the PSC says Parliament should also advise political parties about their engagements with civil servants outside of parliamentary oversight. Action SA leader Herman Mashaba says his party sympathizes with South Africans planning to protest against undocumented migrants, but Mashaba has warned that the 30 June demonstration should be closely checked so things don't get out of control. He says South African authorities should also be sensitive to the concerns of those who want better border control and the regulation of undocumented foreign nationals. And in Spain, Pope Leo will meet migrants and hold an open-air mass at the island of Tenerife today to end a visit that has highlighted the plight of irregular arrivals. The leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics is concluding his trip with a call for more help for migrants and action against traffickers as immigration remains a hot topic of political debate. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, traveling on the N3, we still have got those hectic delays along the N3 South. This is between Marlborough Drive and Vincent Magwenya Road. While traveling on the northerly direction, we still have got queuing traffic on the N3 North towards the Vincent Magwenya Road exit. Otherwise, in Bedford View, roadworks are causing delays towards the Kilulis interchange. This is along the R24 and the N12 West. Traveling in four ways, we've got hectic delays along Winnie Mandela Drive. This is between Leslie and Witkoppen Road. Cedar Road is also heavily backed up approaching Witkoppen Road as well. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
More and more employers are talking about SA Youth, a free online platform that connects employers with young people who are ready to work. And more businesses, from big brands to small companies, are turning to it. The feedback is consistent. It saves time and gives you access to entry-level talent fast. So, if you've been thinking about growing your team, it's definitely worth a look. That's SA Youth, powering South Africa's youth workforce. Find them at sayouth.co.za.
Experience pure country allure as a VIP at this year's Hollywood Bets Durban July with Spina Zonke. Stand a chance to win VIP experiences or a share of 1.2 million rand in cash. Bet 2 rand or more on selected slots to enter. This is your moment. Release your spirit, release your victory, release your glamour with Spina Zonke. Bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
If you're a fan of the beautiful game, you'll recognize this and this. But what about this? It's your chance to score big time. Win your share of up to 2 million rand with Standard Bank. It's game day every day. To enter, open and use any qualifying Standard Bank account, in-app or in branch. Already a Standard Bank customer? Sign up for Standard Bank Connect online to get a bonus entry. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
On Sunday, 26 July, the entire city unites for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk.
Walk the talk.
And because Joburg is more than just a city, we'll be walking for the people. So join us and help make a difference to homelessness in the city by entering on primemediaplus.com and donating vouchers.
Donate a voucher.
Which is a cashless way to give, helping people experiencing homelessness access a hot shower, a meal, a bed, or more support. Anybody can join and everybody can donate. 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Enter and donate now on primemediaplus.com.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
24 minutes before 10 o'clock. It's the 702 open line. A number of conversations we're having this morning. So let's start with your WhatsApps.
Morning, Clemza. Yeah, good luck to the comrades runners and hope you guys enjoy the race and you all achieve your personal bests. The Bafana game, sitting back and defending and waiting for them to open up so that we can catch them on the counter was really ridiculous against a team that I think we all saw that we can beat Mexico. We all watched it. And I'm sorry, but yeah, Lyle Foster must be dropped from the team, guys. Like, I don't even understand why you went to the World Cup. This man should have played a 4-5-1 game, stacked the middle field with the young boys, your Apollos, your Mofokeng, your Mokoena, your Jaden Adams, your Morimis, and made that Mexican defense run. The whole 90 minutes, make them run, Clement.
Good morning, Clement and the 702 lenders. Happy Friday. Yes, I'd like to take this opportunity to wish my uncle Jomo from the sweatshop in Dunkeld a very, very good and strong comrades run. He is doing his 15th one this Sunday, and man, he is so inspiring to all the runners. Go out there and have the time of your life. The finish line is yours. You've worked so hard, and you can honestly be proud of yourself just for entering. Yes, Uncle Jomo, we are all behind you. We love you, and we'll see you at the finish line.
Top runners dumelang, dumelang. Top runners dumelang. Hi Clement. I'm a novice comrades runner. I'm excited. I am excited, but I am also nervous. I think the one thing that's making me more nervous at this point, given the fact that I still have flu symptoms, which I have been trying to treat since last week, but I am definitely better, and I know that I will be completely okay by the end of today. All the best, Batting to fellow novice runners and everybody that will be lining up on Sunday. Yeah, let's do this, guys. We've got this.
I love the spirit. All the best, and you'll be fine. By tomorrow, that flu will be completely gone.
Ultimate human race. For my Gratitude Friday, I am grateful to be a South African, to live in such a beautiful country. And I know Bafana didn't really do so well, but I still have faith. And I know that we are not fair weather South Africans. We are in the trenches together, and we will get out of this. One way or another, those boys have fight in them, and let's just hope that that matches the results that they bring. And these are teething problems for the World Cup, some nerves, but I do believe in the team that we have out there. So, yeah.
Good morning, Clement and 702 listeners. I'm old, I'm 72 years old. I watched the match. I loved soccer so much. I ended up sick. I just went to sleep. I'm very disappointed. You know, during our times, bekuzothiwa hayi bathengiwe ukuthi Mexico iwine because I'm a host. I really don't know what to say. Bangigulisile Bafana.
Surely we need to say the truth. The coach had no plan. I don't know the role of Mutiba and Mutau in that defense. Really, his strategy was so poor. And also, we will never win. Everybody now is planning to get points from Bafana. That's what is going to do. We are donating points and we are coming home soon.
Good morning, Clement. It's Modise Yaman. I watched the game yesterday, and I must tell you, I agree with you. Hugo Bruce's tactics were not spot on. We didn't even have anyone in the middle field holding the ball controlling the middle field. Tebogo Mokoena was all over. And this thing of playing from the back, it works if the other opponent is not high pressing. And actually the first goal was because Mexico did a high press. And with that attitude, I doubt we will even make it to the next round. It's going to be a tough next game. And against Korea, we must just forget that's going to be a walkover. They are going to beat us. That show as usual.
Yeah, I'm trying to be hopeful, but you're right. With that attitude, there's no way we're getting out of the group stages. This was just a poor decision making throughout and throughout. The tactical plan was just so weak. But let's hope Hugo Bruce has learned and will do better in the next match. It's 19 before 10.
Your voice, your station, your open line. Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela on 702.
Paxton, you calling us from Nyootgesig. Good morning.
Oh, Clement, thanks for the show, bro. Hey, you just brought that guy Val. Just brought back good memories, man.
Yeah?
There for Easy by Night. It was a very nice club.
Oh, you remember it from Katlehong?
Yes. Even 5 to 7 out in Eden Park. It was a nice club. You must remember, we moved from Soweto side, all to the east to come and enjoy ourselves.
Wow.
And there was a club there in Orlando, Pelican. The owner was Mike. And then Bel Air in Pretoria, in Easterus. Those were the clubs that we used to go to. And
You went to Easterus all the way from Soweto?
Yes. That is how we communicated. They came to Soweto, we went to them. That is how we really communicated and enjoyed ourselves in the days.
Oh, that's amazing. What time did the clubs close back in the day?
Oh, early morning, bro.
Like what, 3, 4, 5, 6?
4, 5 o'clock. We from the club, we're going home. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a 24-hour thing, bro.
Yo, because I mean, these days you've got these young ones who tell you they leave the club at 6. What do you mean? At 6 in the morning? Yeah. So I'm just interested to know what happened back in the day. Let me take more of your WhatsApps on this because I really think it's so fascinating. Some of you have forgotten about certain places that other people are mentioning. And we're talking about this nightclub nostalgia because of this beautifully written piece in the Mail and Guardian reflecting on some of the prominent clubs that defined South African culture in the 80s and the 90s. But I want to know what are the buzzing places today as well. Where do people go to now? Hey?
Morning, Clement. If you lived around Pretoria and you are a millennial and you studied around Pretoria, everybody will remember Zanzu, Cheeky Monkey, Stones. Those are the good old days.
Hey, Clement. I was quite the partier back then, man. In Pretoria, we had like the square, and then we had Zanzu, and then we had Divas and Dons, and then we had the pool place that was just upstairs next to Zanzu. I can't remember the name. Stones. And then in Joburg, it was Carfax. There you had like the Admiral. You had Cat's Pajamas. That was the first time I ever met Ricky Rick. There was just, what was that other one where AKA would frequent as well? Right there in the heart of Rosebank. I forget the name. But yeah, man, parties. Those are good times, man. Very good times.
Do you guys remember the News 24 in Rosebank? What do they call that Rosebank Mall? That precinct with all the shops? The Zone, yeah. There was like a news cafe at the Zone in Rosebank. I don't know if any of you remember that. Yeah, that was a good place. I think it was, yeah, there was another place that came over many years ago to replace it, but that used to be the place, especially on Fridays. Eh? Kabelo, you're in Pretoria. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. In the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, there used to be a nightclub called Club Gemini. But now, what's interesting about this club, it was in the middle of nowhere. It was in some village called Klepgat. People would come from other provinces to Club Gemini, and then since then I've never seen a club that matches that one.
Is it?
To an extent that we came from Joburg. When I came to Pretoria, I was excited about having a job or about a salary. My main attraction was that I will now be close to Club Gemini.
Yeah, that's what consoled you. Camelo in Pretoria, thanks for the call.
Hi, Clement. Melville is still nice. Hey, Zisawa Melville. Hey, it's still nice. 7th Street. Hi, Zisawa. There is Blanco on 7th. Blanco is very good, very nice. And also, what do you call this? The anti-social club. Oh, Clementi. I spent my December in Melville. It's nice, La Paziawa, Clement. Maybe it's not the way it used to be. I don't know how it used to be, but hey, it's very nice there. Melville, Ziawa, strong.
Morning, Clement and 702 listeners. I think in the 2000s in Joburg, there was a club called Razzmatazz. I'm not sure if now it's still the same, but back in the 2000s, it was the place to be.
Yeah, morning Clement and the team. Hey man, Kati Club man. Hey, remember there was once a club owned by the radio personality DJ Teach Mataz, Razzmatazz in Joburg. And then there was this other club, which was called Gemini. And then there was another club called Sunnyside, which was just opposite the Sunny Park Shopping Center. I just can't recall.
Oh,
the name now.
yes, Sunny Park Shopping Center.
That's well in Krugersdorp, man.
Yes, and then it was also opposite the McDonald's. Was it on Esalen Street in Sunnyside, the one you're talking about? There's a place that was opposite the Sunny Park Mall, like directly opposite. Yeah, that was quite a vibrant place as well. 12 minutes before 10.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa. The historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 will be at Sunbet Arena Times Square from 26 July to the 2nd of August. Expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, premium hospitality, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This is Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
What if the problem you faced became the business that changed everything? That's what Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 is all about, with this year's theme, My Pain, My Purpose, My Solution. We're calling on small businesses that turned real challenges into powerful ideas. You could win 200,000 Rand in cash, plus mentorship, business support, and tools to help you grow sustainably. Enter the Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 now at primemediaplus.com or igniteyourbusiness.co.za. See money differently. Nedbank, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. It will leave you feeling overwhelmed. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim to make those important calls. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Kaelo Lifestyle, a mental wellness and support program for employees and their families, is calling on you to take a step towards better mental health. As the mental wellness partner of 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, Kaelo is bringing even more purpose to the walk. From checking in with yourself to celebrating connection, every step is designed to support your well-being. So rally your team and walk for mental wellness. Visit primemediaplus.com for more information. Kaelo Lifestyle, changing lives and improving business. On 702, let's walk the talk.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
10 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Clement, Club Zigzag
Carlton Center. Yeah, underground.
Clement, good luck to all the runners. I'm on my way as well, running my fourth one. So yeah, it's gonna be a nice, easy bill rowing for me. And all the best to Donovis and yourself as well. Say Ramangalo from Riverside
It's
on
gonna
your
be
way.
an easy bill road. These are the top runners, I'm telling you. And then another person here says, "Hi Clement, wishing you all the best on Sunday. My husband is also running, and I'm driving with him to Durban now, approaching Escort. I'm so excited. We'll see in Catteridge on Sunday. Yeah, I'll see you guys on the road."
Happy Friday. Kisipati Wahamoji said this is my second time on Clement Manyathela show with the message. I just wish all the comrades runners the best of luck. Your hard work and determination will carry you to the finish line. Go for it. All the best, guys. Bye.
Happy Friday, Clement, and all the listeners. Today I am grateful that last night's score was not 5-0. And then I just want to wish all our athletes well. And may God's hand of protection be over you guys. And may you just all break your own personal records this weekend. Godspeed and be safe.
Clement, Tapo here, Boxback. I think as a nation, we just need to call a spade a spade. That's what it is. Because now listening to you go, and I even saw Gaten's post. It's like we tried. No, we didn't. The performance was so bad. Even if you look at our players' ratings, no one was above 7. Like, it was bad. So I think in the next coming games, the 2 other games, we need to do better. Like Sras, we need to do better. And Hugo must just play a formation that our boys are used to. That formation was new to our boys, and you could see that our boys are confused, very confused. Great show as always, Clement. Thanks.
Greetings, Clement and team. You know, Bafana's performance against Mexico, it showed moments of promise, but overall the team struggled to find rhythm and composure, especially at the early stages of the match. I mean, from kickoff, it appeared that the players were affected by a degree of stage fright. That's how I saw it. And it really impacted their confidence and decision making. Simple passes were misplaced, and there was hesitation in key moments, allowing Mexico to control the tempo and apply pressure. I mean, defensively, Bafana showed more resilience, but lapses in concentration and positioning created unnecessary vulnerabilities. I mean, the midfield, you know, the team found it difficult to maintain possession and build structured attacks, often conceding control too easily. But yeah, let's not crucify them too much.
Your voice, your station, your open line. Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela on 702.
Yeah, we still have other matches to play, so yeah, we can't sit down and sulk. Let's do better, I suppose, is the message. All right, so more messages are coming through about some nightclub nostalgia. Denny says, Clement, I used to frequent 80s nightclub at a rugby stadium in Durban. Whoa, a nightclub at a rugby stadium? That's interesting. Anonymous Tuso on the WhatsApp line says, Clement, I'm a gay guy in my early 50s now. The club culture was my vibe back in the day. I started with gay clubs called Champions and Skykine in Joburg CBD, then the dance clubs like Club Ellis or Canalita, Caribbean Lounge, House 22, all in Pretoria, and Club Rick and Roll in Midrand. That's a message there from Tuso. Lionel Miles, you calling us from Johannesburg. Good morning.
Clement, how are you?
I'm all right, man. Good to hear from you.
All right, thanks.
Sure.
All right.
Hi, Lionel.
Yes, I was working for Radio Bob.
Yes.
Yes, and for a couple of years, and we used to go out to Easy by Night, where whenever we do shows out at the Rent show, we.
Ooh, the line is not good there. So unfortunate, but that's the veteran broadcaster, a former Radio Bob presenter, Lionel Miles, and he's just mentioning that they used to go to Easy by Night back in the 70s. Yeah, that's come out a lot, eh?
Bye. Good morning, Clement and the team. Sam here from Joburg. Yeah, with regard to Bafana, I don't know what is their problem, because whenever they are playing this football, they are not going forward. They are playing backwards. It's like between the defenders and the goalkeepers, middle fielder going backwards. They are not going forward. And I don't know what is their problem. Ever since I started watching Bafana, they are doing the same thing. They are not going forward. They are not even hungry to go or to score goals. Thanks. Sam from Joburg.
Morning, Clement. The Mexico team wasn't so good, to be honest. This was the game that Bafana could have just leveled, got the points from this game, because the Mexico team, they were dominating because there was no unity from Bafana. We lost balls. A person will pass on the space, the person is going the other way, so there was no unity at all from the players. And if this is how the coach sees the game, then I'm scared going forward. They might just come back home, because if the coach thinks that they played well and what we saw wasn't so good, no.
Good morning, sir. Regarding Coach Bruce's comments, I don't know what game he was watching, honestly, because I know what I watched. And if he says that South Africa played well in the first half and in the second half, Mexico didn't play well, they couldn't find spaces. No. So how is it that they won, they scored 2 goals, and we didn't score 2 goals, but we got 2 red cards instead? Just admit it. The guys played bad, we played bad. That's it. Finished. Forget about it. Work on all those mistakes and learn for the next game, which we have to win, to be Johannesburg.
Yeah, and that's what I'm fearing. If Hugo Bruce think we put our best foot forward and we played well yesterday, then I'm worried about the next matches.
Running an NPO is challenging, but proving your credibility to donors doesn't have to be. Izinga Assist, South Africa's leading NPO verification platform, follows a rigorous process in awarding your organization with a trusted 5-star rating and official digital certification. Get verified and become visible to thousands of donors by joining Izinga Assist today at izassist.org. Doing good, done better. Proudly supported by Pramedia Cares.
It's lunchtime and Mr. D has you covered. Open the app, pick your favorite meal, and enjoy free delivery between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. No restrictions, no hassle. Skip the lines, stay at your desk, and let us bring lunch to you. Plus, every food order on the Mr. D app gives you a chance to win exciting prizes. So download the Mr. D app now and make lunchtime effortless.
The Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa is calling for nominations to its appointment committee. 3 members will be appointed for a 4-year term starting in August 2026. Nominees should have experience in broadcasting, journalism, media, broadcasting law, or related fields. To submit a nomination, send a motivated nomination, the nominee's acceptance, and a short CV to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. Nominations close on 17 June. Find out more at bccsa.co.za. This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Self-proclaimed political fixer Brian Mogotsi's bail woes are far from over. Mogotsi appeared briefly in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court this morning to appeal a decision denying him bail. The court turned down his application last week after he provided police with 3 incorrect addresses, raising concerns he could evade trial. Mogotsi faces charges including unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition, perjury and defeating the ends of Administrative Justice. He was arrested last month in connection with allegedly staging his own assassination attempt last year. During the process towards his initial court appearance, he provided 3 addresses, all proving to be false. And in one instance, he blamed his alleged landlord for writing a wrong address on a lease agreement. His lawyer this morning says that they will bring a new bail bid on new facts. The Public Service Commission has issued a directive of the heads of state department cautioning about interactions with politicians outside of their accountability responsibilities. It follows a complaint from the DA about the attendance of officials at meetings of the ANC's parliamentary study groups, which are held in preparation for official committee meetings. After investigating the complaints, the PSC says Parliament should also advise political parties about their engagements with civil servants outside of parliamentary oversight. Some DA ministers have complained that civil servants have sought to undermine them in ANC study group meetings and have even claimed political agendas being driven against them at these off-the-record meetings. Lindsay Tentlinka takes a look.
In response to the DA's complaint, the PSC's chairman, Somadoda Fikeni, says the Commission acknowledges constructive and lawful engagement between the political executive and the administration is necessary, but it's advising that such interactions take place within defined institutional arrangements. The Commission says the absence of a parliamentary framework to govern such engagements is a risk. DA Parliamentary Leader George Mikalakis says he will petition the Speaker and the Deputy President as the leader of government business to put a stop to such interactions immediately.
It is important now for Parliament to put such regulations in place to ensure that there are rules that guide parties in how they interact with the public service.
Chairperson of Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Public Service and Administration, Jan de Villiers, says the PSC has been invited to discuss its legal assessment and recommendations on the matter. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Action SA leader Herman Mashaba says his party sympathizes with South Africans planning to protest against undocumented migrants, but Mashaba has warned that the 30 June demonstration should be closely checked so things don't get out of control. He says South African authorities should also be sensitive to the concerns of those who want better border control and the regulation of undocumented foreign nationals. Mashaba spoke to media in Parliament yesterday.
It's something that I think for us as Action SA, our position is very clear. We are sympathetic to our people about their cries for mass deportation of foreign nationals. We sympathetic to the plight of our people saying, please capacitate the Border Management Authority.
And in Spain, Pope Leo will meet migrants and hold an open-air mass on the island of Tenerife today to end a visit that has highlighted the plight of irregular arrivals. The leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics is concluding his trip with a call for more help for migrants and action against traffickers as immigration remains a hot topic of political debate. Tenerife is one of the Canary Islands in the Atlantic, which have become a gateway for tens of thousands of irregular arrivals seeking a better life in Europe. The Pope is set to speak to hundreds of migrants at a center housed in a former military barracks that was initially heavily criticized for overcrowding. He's also condemned indifference towards migrants and cast a wreath into the sea to honor the thousands who have died trying to reach the Canaries. Gold is trading at $4,178.23 an ounce. The rand is at 16.53 to the dollar, 21.87 to the pound, 18.87 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $88.58 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is between Van Buren Road and the Kilulis interchange. That's due to roadworks. There's also queuing traffic in Limbo Park along the N3 North just as you approach Vincent Chabalala Road.
A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 22 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Self-proclaimed political fixer Ramaphosa's bail woes are far from over.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie, walk the talk. Babize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Six minutes after 10 o'clock, Dumelang, welcome to the second hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you so much for staying with us here on 702, and thank you for your calls, your WhatsApps, your contributions on the 702 open line, your well wishes for the Comrades runners this weekend, but also your reflections on that terrible, poor performance by our boys in Mexico. And of course, that nightclub nostalgia. So I appreciate your calls and WhatsApps on that. Remember, at 11 o'clock, we're going to do our relationship and sex feature. And today, we're going to do a sex and intimacy Q&A. So we've often brought you our quarterly sexual health Q&A, where we tackle everything from sexual wellness and reproductive health. Today, what we're going to do is bring in an expert who's going to answer all your questions concerning sex, intimacy, connection, and desire in long-term relationships. So get your questions ready for that feature at 11 o'clock. But right now, we start with our Across the Desk feature.
Across the Desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
So on our Across the Desk feature this morning, I'm hosting social workers. They are the quiet force behind some of society's most vulnerable moments. I mean, they walk into homes, they walk into hospitals, they walk into courtrooms, communities, advocating for those who often cannot speak for themselves. But have you actually ever wondered about what life is really like for a social worker? Well, I've invited them to join me on Across the Desk this morning so that we can find out more about their work and also encourage some of you that maybe you want to get into it, or you've got children who want to be social workers, or who have sort of raised an interest in social work, and maybe they can guide you on how you can better support your children. So if you've got your own questions, or maybe you are in the industry yourself, you're a social worker, what's been your experience like? You can give me a call on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. We've got Malerato Kumalo, who is a social worker with us here in studio. Malerato, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Kifule Mujapelu, whom we've had many times on our Family Matters feature, also a social worker. Kifule, thank you for also coming. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement and the listeners. Thank you for having me.
So, I want to know how it all started, Malerato. Have you always wanted to be a social worker?
Yes, I knew when I was in grade 10. I actually wanted to be a social worker.
What happened at grade 10?
I guess I always wanted to, I was drawn to always helping people. So I knew then that this was the profession for me.
Jeez, that's amazing. So by the time you hit grade 12, you already knew what you want to study?
Yes, I knew.
Very rare for, how old are you?
I am 30 now.
30, okay. It's very rare for our generation, I guess. I'm 36. And how about you, Kefilwe?
I knew when I was, I think, 16 as well.
Yeah.
But first, the chronological order, I wanted to be a sports psychologist.
Yeah.
And then I was exposed to the social work more.
Okay.
And I remember in my community, I was that girl who'd organize things and do, for example, Fun Day, Kari 31 December, where we bring adults and parents to play.
Oh, wow.
But then in that, we were fundraising. And when somebody wins, they win a stationery. So that was me and my group of my friends. And then as we were growing up, I was like, okay, what can I do? I was like, social work, because we witness poverty. You see things. It's like, okay. And then that's when my dad contacted me with another lady who was a social worker in our community. And from that moment, that's when I was inspired. More than that, it was about the subsidy cars that Northwest was giving people there.
Yeah, okay, I remember actually.
Yes, but after 5 years, I own a car. This lady was driving a Hilux. I want this car.
I remember in our community, never drive these specific cars, the social
Clement.
work.
That's what I wanted.
Oh, that's amazing. So where were you guys posted at first? Like where did you work first? And I'm asking this question because I'm doing some work around trying to provide psychosocial support to high school students in rural areas because coming from a village, I picked up like there are so many issues we were facing as young students, and I didn't have anybody to talk to. And there are other students who were coming from homes with hectic dynamics, and we didn't have anybody to talk to. And what I'm trying to do is bring in social workers so they can get to these schools, right? Even if it's for a period of a month but to just have these kids have someone to talk to. And that's why I'm asking, where did you start working first?
I love that you're saying that because I also, when I started social work, I actually wanted to be a school social worker.
Yeah.
So I did start in a school setting. I then moved to a rehab. And then it was private practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that, so now it's just purely private practice?
Yeah, now it's purely private.
And Kefila, for you, where did you mostly operate?
I started in Carltonville in the Department of Social Development. And I worked there for 10 years before I resigned to do private practice. But I honestly wanted to go back home, Komafikeng, because I feel like I want to impact wise, particularly in the villages.
Yeah.
But because you are under scholarship, they place you somewhere else where they see a need. So that's where I went.
Sure. And I mean, the villages really need a lot of, and I know we don't have the capacity for it. But when I remember where I come from, there were probably like 2 social workers serving our community, and I think also like 2 nearby communities. And I was like, how are they going to do that? Like they don't even have capacity for that. And I just hope one day we can have enough capacity to also shift the focus in the rural areas. How do you guys navigate the deep issues that you sometimes deal with? Because my goodness, some of the stuff that you guys have to help us navigate is tough. How do you deal with that? Do you have your own social worker or your own therapist that you see?
Would you like to?
Yes. So definitely, Clement, you can't do that without a system behind your support system, from spiritual to a therapist of your own, to somebody that you can just go to with bare, literally like just be you. You don't care if your profession, you don't care anything, and you just bear it all. And more than anything, I think what goes into your morning, your preparation, your showing up, the system that you create yourself to say, how do I show up to my day so that I can be able to carry and navigate through whatever that I'm going to face today? So for me, that has been the biggest anchor where I check in with myself. If I'm not okay, Clement, I can't see people if I'm not okay. I will pause for the whole week and be with me and go inside of me. So I struggle to go to meet Clement and give you, if there's nothing, I have not checked in as to where I am, and do some soul searching and say, and then profess and incarnate some of the values that I'm about. For example, so every morning, and I check in, and I'm like, where am I? Send myself a location pin. Where am I? And I'm like, I'm down. I don't have this. And I'm like, okay, where would you want to be? And I'm like, okay, I want to be at peace in my soul, my being, and my whole being. And then holistic well-being approach kind of. So I will never go to see people if I don't do that. And I'm fortunate enough that I drive. So of course, in the morning you wake up, you prepare kids, you do this, you do that. But when I get into that, I'm like, this is me.
That's your moment.
It's time to go into me and speak with me and find where I am. And that's the moment where I'm like, okay, sit, bring everything together. I'm not going to be spiritual first and pray. I'm going to go into myself. Where am I? And then I'm like, if I'm not okay, I'm going to call whoever that maybe I say it's my mom, maybe we had a fight. I'm going to call you and say, and then just release that in my body, in my spirit. And then after that, I'm like, okay, what are your values? If I am peace, I'm humility, I am. And then I incarnate it, I affirm it to myself. And then I'm like, okay, I'm good. Now I go spiritual, and then I can show up into my day and see people.
Yeah. And for you, Malerato, do you sometimes struggle with the heavy stuff?
So I've learned over the years that it's not a one-man team. I work with doctors, I work with psychologists, I work with police officers. There are people out there that we can collaborate together to actually address a problem or someone's circumstance. We can branch out. It mustn't really be all on you as a social worker. Of course, you are there to assess, to look into what this person might need, right? And it is also my job to then reach out and help people get the resources that they need. So it's really trying not to carry all the load alone. Yeah.
Do you have to be a kind of person that cares about helping other people?
Definitely.
At the core, eh?
Definitely.
And
you cannot.
you can't fake that.
No.
Because otherwise you're going to be yawning when you're dealing with someone and someone is explaining stuff to you and you're not really interested.
Most definitely. And it's a repetition. You'd find that a lot of people are going through the same thing over and over again, but it's a unique experience for everyone. So you need to be in tune with that person or that community or that family at that time. You can't just zone out.
Yeah, sure. What is the difference between social workers and the therapists or psychologists? Because it's almost like you do almost the same work.
We do. It just depends what is your academic background in a way.
Definitely.
If you're a registered counselor, you did psychology up to a 4th year, up to an honors level, and then masters. That's when you're a psychologist. If you're gonna do and then with practicum. But with social work, let's start. So you'll be a therapist. You'll all call therapist. But what can you do? What can you not do? And some of the people, I think there's a thin line between us and psychologists, depending which, because there's also clinical social workers, there's clinical psychologists. So it depends. Are you clinical? Are you a psychodynamic person? What are you looking into more? But more than that, I think there is, particularly when you, as a social worker, we are broad. You do community work, you do group work intervention, you do therapeutic, the core key, I could say, big of clinical. But some of the people, if you're a community psychologist, you'll do certain group, maybe you just look into a community. If you are clinical, you do that, but you can't diagnose because only certain people can diagnose. So you can't, as a psychiatrist is the only one that diagnoses. But people tend to think that, no, psychologists do. And you're like, okay, what do you diagnose? What can you do? Who gives medication? You're like, no, but you can't. You can't. So it's this thin line, but yeah.
But I've always said, we look at the bigger, like we go into something, or we look at someone, the family, but we don't look at them just as the person. We look at them as the person within their family. We look at the person within their community, within their context. So we look at the bigger picture.
And that's what I love about our job.
Right? It's the exciting part is that we don't focus on one thing only, or we don't only focus on the person. We focus on everything else. And that's where I say, we can't work alone, because that a person will either need a doctor, will need a psychologist, will need something else, but we need to know when we come in and we assess, we need to know that, this person needs these kinds of services, this person is at risk for such a thing, we look at them holistically,
Okay.
That's the difference with
So you mentioned that, yes, most people are dealing with the same issues, but they're experiencing them uniquely, obviously. What sort of issues are you guys seeing on the ground? Like what's trending right now? Like, for lack of a better word.
Yes.
But what is the common issue that you're getting more and more in recent time?
Sure. I've been coming across interpersonal conflicts. So this is either
more domestic in the family, like intimate.
Even in workplace. And the other place we've also been branching into is just schools as well right now.
Yeah.
And looking at the issues where kids are either being bullied, kids are coming from homes that, even if, let's not just look at the poverty side of things. There are some kids who come from well-off homes, but the challenges and the issues that they face even in those homes, it's really frustrating. And I think it's the growing pressure that everybody needs to sort of show up. So you need to show up for work, you need to show up for your children, but internally you have gone through so much and you need to work through that, but somehow you are pressured to function. So I've seen that that's the actual issue, that everyone is going through something and people need support, people need to be heard, people need to unlearn habits or, resolve little traumas that they also have, so that they can actually show up for themselves and others.
But for me, Clement, I feel like it's more, right now I can say 90% of my caseload that comes into the practice, it's anxiety and depression. Specifically, that's what I've been observing, 90%.
Across different ages?
Across different ages, across employee wellness, across families, whether a person, when they walk in, I know it's mostly going to be anxiety, it's unlikely to be anything else. And most of my people, of that 90%, 80% of the people are on medication. That's the unfortunate part. And maybe a few, it's about conflict, especially fathers who are coming for mediation, wanting access to their children. So for me, those are the major two things that I'm realizing right now.
Yeah, so fascinating. It's 20 minutes after 10 o'clock. I've got Malerato Kumalo and Kifulo Mujapili, who are social workers. I'm hosting them on our Across the Desk feature this morning to find out more about the work that they do. So if you are in the industry yourself, let me know. Give me a call or send me a WhatsApp, or maybe you've got an input, you want to join the conversation, you've got a question. I'll start with your calls and WhatsApps after the break.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
Look at all of the articles that have been written about the anti-foreigner sentiments in Kenya against Somalis. That's happening right now. It is not being called xenophobic. The issue of the Kingdom of Cambodia that has specifically named the very specific groups that they want out of Cambodia. That is not called xenophobic. The expulsion of Nigerians in Japan. That is not being called xenophobic. And it is deliberate and very, very easy to see if you watch.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your Clientele Legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
I'm Samela Kelpoy, an actress and a mum. Do you know what's in your cupboard? I've been trying to be intentional about the food I buy and keep in my cupboard. Unhealthy packaged foods can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and diabetes. Support front-of-package warning labels on unhealthy packaged foods, high in saturated fat, sugar, and salt. Join me. Sign the petition on healer.org. That's HEALA.org.
Joburg winter is creeping in. The mornings are colder, the scarves are back, and suddenly getting out of bed feels like an extreme sport. So why not follow the sun? Swap the chill for warm Durban beaches, island time in Mauritius, turquoise waters in Zanzibar, or even a European summer with a vibe. Wherever the sunshine is calling, Flight Centre will help you get there. Visit your nearest Flight Centre store or flightcentre.co.za to start planning. Flight Centre, your centre for travel.
What if the problem you faced became the business that changed everything? That's what Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 is all about, with this year's theme, My Pain, My Purpose, My Solution. We're calling on small businesses that turn real challenges into powerful ideas. You could win 200,000 Rand in cash, plus mentorship, business support, and tools to help you grow sustainably. Enter the Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 now at primemediaplus.com or igniteyourbusiness.co.za. See money differently. Nedbank, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Across the Desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
It's 25 minutes after 10 o'clock. I've got social workers on our Across the Desk feature this morning, finding out more about their work that they do, understanding their role better, and just the profound impact that they have on everyday South Africans. So if you have ever wondered about the work of social workers, let me know. Maybe you've been impacted by social workers before. There was an intervention in your life, in your family, in your school, Let me know on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702.
How's it, Clement? It's Garth from Sandton. Just want to ask the social workers, if they're in private practice, how does the judges then award custody if you're fighting for like 50% custody? Do they listen to private social workers? How does it work? It's very interesting to know if you must go through a government social worker or if you can appoint a private social worker.
Okay, so on custody issues. All right, I'll get them to respond to that. Here's another question.
Good morning, Clement, and to your guest as well, Makosonke from Jabulani in Soweto. Clement, I really appreciate the work of social workers. I must say it has helped me in the past quite a lot. And currently, I just want a clarity about something that happened 2 weeks ago. My wife just up and left with my daughter without any discussion with me. I went to a conference for a weekend. When I come back, she was gone. And now one of the things when we went for counseling that we discussed was that I requested her that when she feels like she wants to leave or she wants out of the marriage, we need to get counseling around this issue, and we need to have plans that will bring the interest of the child first. So yeah, I'm just struggling with that. Thank you. I just want to understand what is my right there as well as a father. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. There was a question about custody issues. Is it best to get a private social worker, or the courts do listen to across the board?
So I'm also a private mediator, and the courts do listen. It's just you can actually go and access a private social worker as a mediator. However, I've had a bad experience in one of the courts where I don't know, it was like somebody said, I don't want to do this, so it was like, well, it's like there was a red tape or something that you can't come here. They sent this case to DSD. Didn't understand, but I've worked beautifully with many other courts, particularly in Carltonville as well, where I've done a lot of parenting plans. I've done a lot of, after the supervised visit, then you just recommend or write a report or post the, whatever, I would say, for the sake of everything, I'll say parenting plan. So they've worked best where people are separating, and also the rights of unmarried fathers and rights of married fathers, those are different. So you need guidance as to say what allows you, or what are we speaking when I need to know, are you married or not, so that I can address accordingly to say, if you are married, let's take a case of a gentleman. If you are married, then you both have parental equal rights and responsibilities towards the children, particularly if they were conceived when you, in your presence, you were there, and when they were birthed, you were there as well. So
As in physically in hospital, or in their lives?
Correct.
Okay.
So that gives you parental rights and responsibilities as a married father. And it's different now. If you are not married, you have to acquire rights and responsibilities. But it doesn't mean you are less of a parent because you are. That just will just go through and meet the criteria that really gives you the parental rights and responsibilities according to section, we call it section 18, 19, 20, and then we can even do parenting plans after that according to section 35, and then it's done.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it maybe after the headlines. I wonder what the key issues are when we're dealing with custody issues, because why are parents struggling to put their hatred of each other and their feeling of betrayal aside and put the kids first?
So there is an upcoming trend of alienation. So it is a tool that parents would use in terms, when it comes to divorce and kids, and it's a weapon now that I'm fighting with a parent, and because I know they love their kids, I'm going to
use that as a weapon.
So now I'm going to alienate the one parent.
Yeah.
We'll say bad things about them. I don't want you to have contact with them. And, I think they forget that kids want both their parents, or not just want both their parents, but, they should experience both their parents in their lives.
Yeah, we'll talk more about this. I want us to unpack it further after the latest Eyewitness News headlines, because, sometimes when I open the lines and the people who call in and complain about this one said this one did this, I'm like, guys, sibadala. The fact that he cheated on you or she cheated on you, I'm sorry about that, but don't involve the child. Why are you weaponizing the child? It's 10:30. Let's get the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Fiso, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. Self-proclaimed political fixer Ramaphosa's bail woes are far from over. Magwenya appeared briefly in the Johannesburg Regional Court this morning to bring a new bail application based on what his lawyer calls new facts. The court turned down his bail application last week after he provided police with 3 incorrect addresses, raising concerns he could evade trial. Magwenya faces charges including unlawful possession of firearm and ammunition, perjury, and defeating the ends of administration of justice. The South African Chamber of Commerce Business Confidence Index has edged up between April and May. The index measures how optimistic business leaders are about future economic conditions in the country. May's slight improvement was supported by higher new vehicle sales and stronger exports. And China says it is holding an American citizen accused of espionage, identifying the man as a political analyst at a policy think tank focusing on neighboring Myanmar. Min Zin, a founder of the Institute for Strategy and Policy Myanmar, has been subjected to criminal compulsory measures. Without providing more details, authorities say they are holding him on suspicion of engaging in espionage activities that endanger China's national security. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, travelling in Bedfordview, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is between Van Buren Road and the Kilulis interchange. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N12 West. This is just as you approach the Kilulis turnoff coming out of the R24 merge. While travelling in Amalgam, delays on the M2 West towards Main Reef Road. There's also queuing traffic along Albertina Sisulu Road towards Park Drive, as well as on Albertina Sisulu Road towards the M1 bridge. Please be on the lookout there. Travelling in four ways, we're still seeing delays on Winnie Mandela Drive. This is between Leslie and Witkoppen Drive. There's also a bit of a hold-up reported in the city of Tshwane along the R55, just as you come out of the N14. Traffic lights are out of order in Sandton at Rivonia Road and 10th. They also out in four ways at Monte Casino Boulevard and Winnie Mandela Drive. Please do remember to report any traffic incidents. We are on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
For nearly 30 years, Ness Browen Rousseau has watched hunger hollow out children and families who don't even have enough food to survive the week. She couldn't just witness it anymore, so she decided to walk the comrades to fund sustainable food programs because every child deserves to go to sleep on a full stomach. Cell C is asking you, what are you running for? Tell them by tagging @CellC on social media.
The XXL Savings Championship is here. And with Checkers, everyone can save. Get deals like Doritos Corn Chips 145 grams, any 2 for 42 Rand. Crystal Valley Cheddar or Gouda Cheese 750 grams for 99.99 each. Save 30 Rand. And Optimo Detergent Capsules 30 per pack. Buy 2 and get a third free. Save 150 Rand. Valid until 14 June. Only at Checkers.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
A bigger and better national lottery is here. Live draws are back. Play at participating retailers, banking apps, and online. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
Across the desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
It's 25 minutes before 11 o'clock, so we continue with our conversation this morning on our Across the Desk feature. I was giggling a little bit now because I saw a message from, who is this? It's you, Vital Energy. That's the name on the WhatsApp. And it made me think of something which has got nothing to do with you guys. But I got into an Uber yesterday. I was traveling from one place to the next. So this listener says, good morning, 702 Lenders. Morning, Clement. I'm Vincent, an Uber driver. I gave you a ride yesterday evening to Bryanston, just to let you know that I'm a big fan of the work, blah, 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 blah. But what's funny there is, every time I get in the Uber, I always wonder, like, because I talk on the phone, so sometimes I gossip, because I'm assuming that the Uber driver doesn't really know much about what I'm talking about or who I am. So now I'm trying to reflect back, what did I say? And last night, I remember, oh my God, I was on a hectic call and I was gossiping so much. And Vincent, I wonder how much you heard. But listen, I hope it was entertaining to you. Okay, so I've got social workers on our across the desk feature this morning. And we were talking about, before I go to more calls and WhatsApps, we were talking about just issues of custody. And I don't know what you're seeing, Kifilo, but are we getting better at trying to put the kids first, or is it still squabbles? And how, in situations like that, when you intervene, how do you get the people to just see the bigger picture?
I mean, you win and then you go back and you think you're winning, and people, I think it's always, people are too personal. We are too personal in these parenting matters. And so what I do personally is I don't want to leave the case without appealing to somebody's consciousness. So for me, that's where I push my work, and I'm always preaching the 3 core ways: being conscious, being deliberate, and being intentional. So I always want a person to realize, what is happening here? Don't be personal. You left this person, it's fine. They hurt you. It's not okay, but for the sake of the child, please see it in this way. And now that we are here, I saw the post on one of the socials. Prince Wakopitori, this guy was doing this program, Yabana. He showed a boy who said, I will never forgive my mom for what she did to me, because my dad passed away just a while back, few months back. And while my dad passed away, all the things that my mother told me about this man were wrong. And I will make her suffer for the rest of her life. I will be on drugs, I will do this and frustrate her for the rest of our lives. And that's what people don't realize. We think we are doing this to spite the other. And you always recognize the mother, the child is my soft spouse. You're forgetting that this is an individual with their own autonomy. So all the things, people, we must realize, and I don't blame them. Some of the stories are bad. I've dealt with a case where the father, it was a one-night stand. The father, the lady, they conceived fine, and then he went to do his business. He graduated, he became the attorney, he was well. 7 years later, he got married and then had girls. He could not have boys. He did traditional stuff, and they told him to go back. And now he wants the child to take his surname because, because he only has girls. So he went back. When I called this lady to come and say, let's talk, let me hear your story. Clement, I've never seen somebody cry like that, saying, I had to prostitute to buy milk. Now he comes and he's not even humble. And that's where people use us, even Clement, to want to say, I'm the father, the child needs me. It's fine, but let's talk as human beings. Hence, I'm always saying, I appeal to somebody's and consciousness, so that you come as yourself. Don't come putting the law, because the law, you'll get things right, but it's not the law that's going to take care of your child in your household. Some of you, you know that you're not good fathers, but now, the child needs a father, and then you take the child. So it's bad. And some of the people, you're not a good mother. You are just you're not even a parent. You are just a person in the child's life. You're not even parenting, Clement. You are with the child, you give the child a phone, you do whatever, and because you birth this child, and then he comes, he wants to be father of the year, and then he does this. It's not about that. Can we think bigger in the wider sense? This is about this human being that we've birthed, who's on earth today because of us. Can we think for them despite anything that happened? That's when I had to pause and give this lady, take her to therapy with another person, so that when she comes back to me, she can think better, broader, and I can infiltrate her in such a way to say, think for your child, the best interest of their child. And I always bring them and put them there to say, can we be here? When somebody goes back and says, you did this, I understand, is where they are head. It's not easy, but go heal. Let's,
But are you getting a sense, Malarata, that there's and I'll use men, right? Yeah. Because most cases are men who are just not involved in their children's lives, in most cases. Are they taking accountability? Like, do you get a sense that when you talk to them, they say, okay, I realize I should have been there? Because some of them just come, got December, to buy Christmas clothes. And then they'll pay school fees in Feb, March, and then they disappear. Then they come back in September without even communicating. And you said if you were married when the child was conceived, you've got equal responsibilities. But that's not even the case. And I wonder if they're getting it, or they just come and think, I want my child. But you're not taking accountability. Where have you been?
Yeah, so many who come in, initially they come in with, I want my child, I have rights, I need to see my child. And we have to sort of guide them to sort of saying, look, things have happened. You need to account for this. You need to sort of work on it. A child is not a block, they are people with emotions, even the mom, I can say, is someone with emotions. And we need to work at reconciling that as well.
Yeah.
In order for you to then exercise healthy contact, or exercise your parenting rights. Because it would be unfair for somebody to just come in after such a long time and then demand. No one is going to take it very kindly. So it always has to come from a point where you are willing to reconcile, you're willing to account, you are willing to also take up and, take responsibility for what has taken place. Because it was two people, not just one.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Naomi, you're in Hyde Park. You're calling us from Hyde Park. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you, Naomi?
I think as a social worker, always a little bit stressed.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys survive and navigate this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, sorry, what did you say? How are you surviving this?
No, I'm saying I wonder how you guys are surviving this. But you've been a social worker, I'm told, for 20 years now?
Yes, specifically around mental health and intellectual disabilities.
Mm-hmm. And how's the journey been for you, Naomi?
Sure. I mean, I think that social workers are, I suppose, an underutilized and underrated profession in the fact that, the world is in despair. And I do believe that an army of social workers is needed, as our training is specifically for building up communities. And there are so many that are unemployed. But my journey has been an unreal one because I have loved spending my life being a part of people's growth, and just people with intellectual disabilities are also isolated and not given opportunities. And they're humans, and I think that they deserve a lot more love.
Absolutely. Yeah, Naomi, thank you for your call, and thanks for the work you have been doing as a social worker over the last 20 years. Let's go to some WhatsApps on 0727021702.
Hi, good morning, Clement, and good morning to your guests. The name is Ayanda Mangubane Boroto. Just want to say, first and foremost, really appreciate the work of the social workers. I'm born of a social worker myself. My mom is a retired social worker. And I just wanted to know, how do they debrief from all of the things that they have to deal with emotionally and psychologically on a day-to-day basis? How do they take time off to focus on debriefing from all of that? Because I can remember the many times when my mother came home and you could just see she was heavy. She would be so heavy, and sometimes she would be heavy for weeks. And there were times when we would ask her and she would say, look, I'm not at liberty to talk about this case. But there were times when she would tell us, I was dealing with this child and this and this and this happened. But yeah, I'm just interested in understanding how they debriefed, because it can get very heavy. I saw it with my own mother. Thank you.
Oh, Ayanda, thank you for that question. And I was raised by a mom who was a teacher in high school, and she was frustrated by students.
Yeah.
Like, they were so disrespectful, and I
Exactly.
could see it when she got home. I mean, our childhood, she was the most strictest person you'll ever come across. And it's only later when I reflect, I'm like, this woman was just facing so much at school, and children and the pressure. And then when you get home now, you just release. On us, so you just release. So how do you guys debrief? You had mentioned that there's a thing you do every single. But do you talk about the cases sometimes? Because I mean, when I do the healing hour on the show, at the end of the healing hour, the stories I'm like, I've got nothing in me.
Clement, tell me about it. And that's why my husband knows the code. I need a sleeping pill. You know what?
Yeah, he knows. He knows that's a tough day.
So you do need that to say, can I? And because you deal with a lot, and sometimes you've worked a path with somebody, Clement, and then they die. That's when I cry. I hardly cry, but that's when I get home, I'm like, yo, happy, this is what happened. This person has just bought a house. This person said, I haven't met self. And we're at session 5, we are completing. She has that, and now she dies. And so that's what takes a toll on me. And I had to cry, release, and go run. Running helps me a lot. And also the beautiful part about my work is that it takes me into me. And I value the how it's like somebody's giving their inner being. That for me, it's where the purpose really, I feel like this is my work. Where I honor when Clement say, people see me at this Clement, but this is Kifil. I'm struggling with this. I'm always humbled and deeply honored for this person see me worth to come and tell me they're deeper. And I'm like, oh, and then that I carry with. And of course, ethically you can say certain things, but sometimes you are so moved within you that you just wanna. When I debrief, I'm like, oh, what happened today? I take it in. Some of the things you even have to pray and fast about them for your clients. Some of the things you have to say, yo, Motwaka, this is what I learned today. You are not going to be specific what happened. Some, if it's children, you're going to say, yo, the child said this. But why we've got these houses, but we are not parenting. What are we doing? Kids are saying things, and I'm like, yo, it allows me to go deep and think of myself, conscious parenting. So I love my work for that, because you can be a 70-year-old woman and then you think of this person who's young and what they are saying, and you take it into yourself, you become better, you learn, you develop. I think that's the love part I have about my job, or it transforms me from within. And for that, yes, you debrief, you cry, you do what, but it's beautiful as well. You grow, you mature emotionally, spiritually, and otherwise, to say, somebody will say, yo, you are deep, yes, because you deal with people's deafness and yours. So that's what I honor.
And when it gets to you, what do you do? You run? What works for you? Do you listen to music in the morning? Do you start with a prayer? Or do you just consult with your own therapist to talk about these?
So I've done a bit of everything.
Yeah.
So yes, it is going to church, it is going for a run, it is, talking to a therapist as well myself, because I also don't want to pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
It can be quite depleting that every time you're working with people, you're giving off yourself, and then at some point you're like, no, I'm not okay. Let me also get an infilling.
Yeah.
So I that's why I'm saying I dab into everything, but I love what my colleague is also saying is that literally, if you are a social worker who was called in for social work, the mere fact that you are also experiencing some kind of transformation, it's the motivating factor.
Exactly.
It really helps you just have this sheer will to live, sheer will to hope, sheer will to help others as well. So it really comes back.
Have you ever dealt with a case where you just cried in the middle of? Because I've been in a session where my therapist a few years back just cried, and I didn't know how to deal with that, because in my mind I'm like, but
I'm here
what must happen now?
I comfort her.
Do I comfort you? Because I'm going deep. Also, you got me to go deep, and then now what? You're sobbing. So how do you? Because also you're human beings, and for me, what I learned then was, at the end of the day, we are all human beings, So of course, some of the things are going to hit her that hard. Has it ever happened to you where you were dealing with a particular case and you just couldn't anymore, and you needed a moment because it was just so difficult?
I'll start. So I know I struggle with loss. So it is that part of me where I know that when I'm working with a client who's also grieving, I might just grieve with them again, because grief is just so continuous. But it's really then accepting that, okay, I'm here to help. I'm also here to uplift them. Yeah, let me also go into my little corner and work on it as well, so that I can help effectively.
And it does help seeing you relate with what I'm saying, because then I feel seen. Like I feel like you actually do get it in a way.
I'm trying to remember when I cried.
Yeah.
But the thing is, where you can hardly, because when somebody cries, you in a therapist, you are doing more than just listening. So it's a lot to say. Number one, that they taught me at school, you must inspire hope. So as you are speaking, I'm thinking, I'm analyzing, I must be hope, inspire hope. So you are analyzing, you are assessing, you are giving hope. You must think of the next question, but you must still be fully present. So there's a lot of things that you must manage in one moment. So as you are crying, I'm like, yo, Clement, So the moment that I can remember when I was emotional is actually not a person relating me a story when they are crying. It's, for example, a person say there's this client that I've been dealing with, he went blind with time. And then we've been doing the work, Clement. You know, when you push the person, it's like, to say, stand up. And then you're like, is this pushing? Am I winning? Am I not? And then you come again to the 5th session, and then the person tells you that I cooked yesterday, and they are blind. That's when I'm saying, I'm like, and then I feel teary, but it's excitement. I'm like, oh my man.
You've been part of that journey.
And then you're like, what? So that's what gets me emotional more than anything.
Oh, love it. 10 minutes before 11.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a Clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. It's easy to apply. No medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
From the people who know FICA best, Encino KYC invites you to the 2026 Fighting Financial Crime Conference. Join top prosecutors, investigators, and compliance leaders for a day of real-world case studies, practical strategies, and powerful networking. 24th of June in Johannesburg, and tickets are on sale now. Simply Google Encino Fighting Financial Crime. That's NCINO. Proudly brought to you by Encino KYC. Fighting financial crime isn't just talk, it's what we do every day.
You know when your people are giving their best, not because they're pushed or pressured, but because they feel supported. And support is making sure they're covered. So if something happens, they can get the care they need. FlexiCare Health Insurance makes it simple for every business to protect their people with affordable health cover. You care, we cover. For a tailored FlexiCare quote, speak to your financial advisor today. FlexiCare is underwritten by ANG, a licensed non-life insurer and FSP, and administered by Discovery Health, a licensed FSP.
Across the desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
8 minutes before 11 o'clock, we are just about to wrap up our conversation with Malerato and Kefilwe, who are our social workers that we're hosting on our Across the Desk feature this morning. I've got a message here from Nyadi who says, Clement, thanks for the show. As a single mom, I'm grateful for the work of social workers. I struggled with children maintenance until last born son said, stop it, ma, we will be fine. When he was in grade 12, the father showed up. The social work was so important and impartial and listened to my son. My son is in a good place post-graduation now. It's not every woman that uses kids as a weapon. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. There are so many women out there who don't even think about that. Tulani, you are in Norwood. What are your thoughts? Good morning. Hi, Tulani.
Hello?
Yeah, Tulani, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, hi guys. So when I was at university in England, somebody had written above the toilet paper, social work degrees, please take one.
Oh my gosh.
Take one.
Oh, wow.
And that's just wrong, man. So, yes, I agree with the other caller. It's the most undervalued profession there is in the world. If you see what's going on. The other thing I wanted to touch on was this debriefing issue.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people really understand, but I train nurses on debriefing. And it's actually quite simple. What people in the caring professions need to do is to clean their emotional teeth every day. And you can literally do that because we're made up of mind, body, and soul, right? So you reflect on the day using those different elements. You say, what was I thinking today? What was I feeling today? What was my body doing today? And in doing that, you're digesting the day so that it doesn't become compound and build up, because naturally we like to push away pain. But that's just going to develop into a cancer of sorts, yeah? So there is a practical way to stay sort of complete, because your two guests, they're not normal. I speak to a lot of social workers
Yes.
and nurses, and they're not coping.
Yeah.
They're not coping. And the other thing is your passion. You've got to maintain your passion, not as something that just pleasures you, but something that reminds you of who you are, and preferably a passion where you can't think about anything else when you're doing it. I confess, I fly little toy drones. I'm just fascinated by that. I'm wondering, because I can't think of anything else when I'm doing it. So it's kind of emotional break. I don't know whether marathon runners think, Clement. Do you think when you're running?
Not so
About
much.
any- or you just think about
you
the
start
running?
thinking hard at after it's 70 Ks or 65, because then your body says to you, "This is all I could do for you." So it's now up to your mind to take you to the finish line. So that's when I think a lot, and I think about the finish line most of the time, because I don't know any other feeling that is as exhilarating as going past the finish line at Comrades Marathon. I don't have words to even describe that feeling, and I always look forward to that, and that's what I think keeps me going.
Okay, so I'm just going to leave everybody out there who's in the caring who has to absorb all this stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tilani.
Your teeth. You've got to clean your teeth.
Yeah.
If you stop doing the things you love, it's a red flag.
Yeah, it's going to catch up with you. Thank you so much, Tilani, for sharing your experience as well as a psychologist. Any advice for young people who are considering a career in social work? What advice would you give them?
I would say think broader in the wider sense. People like to think social work is one thing. Remove the kids. Hey, Clement, I hate that. It's about removing kids, and it's about what? And I went into every way to break that. And I remember I was very fortunate to go to UP, where they broke everything that I've learned. I knew in the society about social work. So they say it's a helping profession, and I got there, and Professor Speed said this is an empowering profession. Like what? So in UP it was all developmental, and they introduced all the aspects biopsychosocial. You can look at you did psychology, you do research, you do social political stuff. So I love that about social work. You are introduced. I remember the budget speech, sauna. You are forced after that to come and reflect in class and present what you had, what you're gonna do. So I love how they broaden us to the political, the social aspect, or the social political aspect. So think broader, and there's no money in social work. I've worked with projects at the Anglo where we are paid 3,000 per day. You are booked. I've been in spaces where literally there's money. There are people that I know that are driving Velas. There are people. So anyway, whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve it. And don't think here. And I always say, Clement, now I'm in private practice, just in short. So private practice, you don't look small things. As when you do employee wellness, I was working for certain companies. I was like, I wonder what these companies, whatever that they're giving me, I wonder what Standard Bank is giving them. And after that, I want to be that company. And that's where I am now. I was like, okay, now I got a tender, and I'm doing this for National Treasury. I'm like, okay, I can do this. And now you are the gift. You are running the national footprint. I'm like, this is what I love, because we normally limited in social work.
Yeah, Malerato, your
Definitely.
advice?
I'd piggyback on that as well. It's really just have the passion for people. And, just know that social work is very broad. It's not limited to one sphere. You can find a social worker anywhere. Anywhere.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, guys. I think we understand more about the work that you do, and thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you.
You guys really help us a lot, and you, as you say,
us,
empower us a lot.
Thank
Thank us.
I say thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your neighbor's geyser burst. Now they're arguing about what's technically covered. Turns out it was the geyser, not the damaged ceiling. When yours burst, you called Suntom's 24/7 emergency line and a plumber was on the way. No debates. You insured nice, not twice. Get free home emergency services with your building cover online or call 0860 444 444 to get a quote. Suntom, this is freedom. Suntom is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer and a controlling company for its group companies.
Across Africa, businesses are embracing the power of cloud solutions, and DigiCloud Africa is leading the way. As Google's chosen reseller enablement partner for Africa, we are committed to growing the Google Cloud Partner Network across the continent. We lead with our partners, actively empowering them through continuous enablement and training to deliver transformative Google Cloud solutions. Organizations looking to partner with Google Cloud experts or resellers wanting to partner with DigiCloud Africa can contact info@digicloud.africa. If you're thinking Google Cloud, think DigiCloud Africa.
Every great business starts with a problem, one you may have experienced yourself. Nedbank Business Ignite 2026 is looking for entrepreneurs who've turned that pain into purpose and build solutions that truly make a difference. If your business is generating between 1 million rand and 20 million rand, you could get the funding, mentorship, and support you need to grow with Nedbank as your partner. Plus, access to Simply Biz to help you scale sustainably. So if you are solving real problems and ready to take your business further, visit igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com and enter today.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Self-proclaimed political fixer Brian Mogotzi's bail woes are far from over. Mogotzi appeared briefly in the Johannesburg Regional Court this morning to bring a new bail application based on what his lawyer calls new facts. The court turned down his application last week after he provided police with 3 incorrect addresses, raising concerns he could evade trial. Mogotzi faces charges including unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition, perjury, and defeating the ends of administrative justice. He was arrested last month in connection with allegedly staging his own assassination attempt just last year. Demakatso Leshoro has more.
Among some of Brian Mogotzi's accusations is that he tried to bribe the investigating officer in the case to not oppose bail. During the process towards his initial court appearance, he provided 3 addresses, all proving to be false. In one instance, he blamed his alleged landlord for writing a wrong address on a lease agreement. His lawyer, William Sikanja.
The new facts are in relation to the address. It's just to clarify the issue in relation to this particular address.
The case has been postponed to the 22nd of July. Demakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg Regional Court.
The Public Service Commission has issued a directive to the heads of state departments warning about interactions with politicians outside of their accountability responsibilities. It follows a complaint from the DA about the attendance of officials at meetings of the ANC's parliamentary study groups, which are held in preparation for official committee meetings. After investigating the complaint, the PSC says Parliament should also advise political parties about their engagements with civil servants outside of parliamentary oversight. Some DA ministers have complained that civil servants have sought to undermine them in ANC study group meetings and have even claimed political agendas being driven against them at these off-the-record gatherings. Lindsay Tentlinka reports.
In response to the DA's complaint, the PSC's chairman, Somadoda Fikeni, says the Commission acknowledges constructive and lawful engagement between the political executive and the administration is necessary, but it's advising that such interactions take place within defined institutional arrangements. The Commission says the absence of a parliamentary framework to govern such engagements is a risk. DA Parliamentary Leader George Mikalakis says he will petition the Speaker and the Deputy President as the leader of government business to put a stop to such interactions immediately.
It is important now for Parliament to put such regulations in place to ensure that there are rules that guide parties in how they interact with the public service.
Chairperson of Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Public Service and Administration, Jan de Villiers, says the PSC has been invited to discuss its legal assessment and recommendations on the matter. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The South African Chamber of Commerce Business Confidence Index has edged up between April and May. The index measures how optimistic business leaders are about future economic conditions. May's slight improvement was supported by higher new vehicle sales and stronger exports. Saki says in addition to global challenges, South Africa is still grappling with uneven economic growth and ongoing structural changes in the economy. Anelita Fandese reports.
The recent data shows that local companies were slightly more optimistic in May, even with the uncertainty around the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. But Saki has cautioned that the country still faces challenges as activities like retail trade, manufacturing and mining output are still constrained. These activities play a crucial role in underpinning confidence in the business sector. Anelita Fandese, Eyewitness News.
And China says it is holding an American citizen accused of espionage, identifying the man as a political analyst at a policy think tank focusing on neighboring Myanmar. China's foreign ministry says Min Zin, a founder of the Institute for Strategy and Policy Myanmar, has been subjected to criminal compulsory measures. Without providing further details, authorities say they are holding him on suspicion of engaging in espionage activities that endanger China's national security. The man's organization researches the political, resource and conflict dynamics of Myanmar, which was plunged into civil war by a 2021 coup. Some of their publications detail China's influence in the borderlands of Myanmar, where Beijing is accused of supporting armed factions which suit its national interests. Gold is trading at $4,217.94 an ounce. The rand is at 16.26 to the dollar, 21.82 to the pound, 18.83 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $87.77 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North between Van Buren Road and the Kilulis interchange. There's also queuing traffic reported on the M2 West approaching Main Reef Road.
A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 22 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: self-proclaimed political fixer Ramaphosa's bail woes are far from over.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy that connects us all.
That's what makes this one so special.
In 702, Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 11 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the third and final hour of the Clement Manyathela show. Thank you for staying with us here on 702. It's time for our relationship and sex feature.
Relationship issues
Relationship talk.
on 702.
So on our relationship and sex feature this morning, which by the way is adult radio, so just a quick reminder to some of you that may have children in the cars with you or at home. Today on our relationship and sex feature, we're doing a sex and intimacy Q&A. It's a little different to a Q&A we've brought to you before, right? In quarterly, because we've got a quarterly sexual health Q&A where we tackle everything from sexual wellness and reproductive health with Dr. Shingai and Dr. Mpume Zenda. Today, we have brought an expert to answer all your questions concerning sex, intimacy, connection, and desire in long-term relationships. So when relationships are new, passion can feel effortless, right? Haven't we all been there? But as the years go by, we've got careers, we've got children, there's financial pressure, sometimes there are health challenges, there's stress, and just the daily demands of life. And all of that can affect how couples connect emotionally and physically. So Nikki Breivik is a sex and intimacy coach and author of Sexponential, who is going to be answering your questions from how you can keep the spark alive, navigating the changing sexual needs, just improving communication and building a fulfilling, intimate relationship that can thrive for years and even decades. So what do you want to know about sex, about intimacy and desire in your relationship? Give me a call on 011-883-0702, WhatsApp's 072-702-1702. So Nikki Breivik of asknikki.co.za a sexual wellness coach, is joining us now from our studios in Cape Town. How are you doing, Nikki? Good morning.
Hi, Clement. So nice to hear you today and be on your show.
It's good to have you with us. We're going to get some really fascinating questions from our listeners in a moment, but I just want to start with a few more basic standard questions that we often get when we talk about intimacy, when we talk about sex. And the common question we often ask is, how often should we be having sex?
So I know that is a very common question, and actually I would prefer to be asked, how do we have better sex? But if you do want to know, the research is that generally once a week, I know you think that's a lot, but once a week keeps that emotional connection between you. And now the funny thing is, when they've done research and shown that people who have sex more than that, they're not necessarily more connected, but people who have less than that can be less connected. So it's keeping that erotic thread flowing through your relationship. Generally once a week is a good kind of time.
Yeah.
And I think don't panic, because sex, remember, doesn't have to be penetrative sex. It can be a whole array of sexual activities, which include just connecting, kissing, oral, masturbation, touching each other, massage. But it's basically that time that you have dedicated together to enjoy sexual intimacy.
Yeah. And we'll talk about how do we then have better sex, but what do I do then when my partner and I have different levels of desire?
This is obviously the most common question that I get as a sex coach, a discrepancy in desire. And I think the thing is to know is it's absolutely normal to have a difference in desire. Like, think about it. Sometimes you are hungry and your partner's not. You might like to eat more than your partner. You might like to exercise more than your partner. The thing about that is we never judge each other for our desires when it comes to eating or exercising or liking poker as opposed to bridge. But when it comes to sex, we think you need to like the exact same things we like, and you need to want to have it as the same amount of time we want to have it. So I think it all ties down to accepting that we are two different people, that desire difference is going to happen. And how do we navigate that desire difference rather than kind of pathologizing it, rather than saying this is a problem, rather how do we navigate it? And remember, in one relationship, you might be the higher desire person, because you might, once a week might be a lot for you, and it might be fine for you, and your partner only wants it once a month. But in another relationship where the person wants it every day, you might be the lower desire partner. So it really kind of depends on who you are with, and then communicating that and seeing how you can overcome those differences, just like you would with exercise or food. I like Italian, I like to eat spaghetti. Well, is there something else on the menu that I can have? How often do we go for Italian? Can we sometimes go for something else? So it's all about that communication and sharing with each other, so that we don't think there's something wrong with us, and rather that this is something we tackle together.
Why do we struggle so much, Nikki, to communicate about what we enjoy the most? And I don't know why, but most people really struggle to just tell their partners, their spouses, that I actually like it this way, or I would like us to try this. Normally, you get people who call us and they often raise concerns about, he's not doing this, or she's doing this instead of this, or she's not doing this. This is what I would like. But to communicate it to them becomes such a huge challenge. And I don't know how we even solve that, because isn't that what's going to resolve many of these issues we face?
Absolutely. And I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head with one of those things is, I want this, you want that. We've got to stop pointing at the other person and saying, like, you have to give it to me. We have to start asking for what we want and sharing what we want. And I think it is extremely difficult because, let's not lie, sex is vulnerable. We are so vulnerable. But the thing about vulnerability and being vulnerable with someone else is it creates closeness. It creates more emotional connection, more intimacy. And what better in a relationship than more intimacy and more connection? That just creates this loop of satisfaction, both in your life and in your sex life. So I think it's very, very important that we start learning how to, because I think a lot of times we start having sex and we stop talking about sex. And actually we need to start saying, no, this is something that we need to create. Like in my book, I talk about a shared vision. Now, I know this sounds so funny and people find it, you get a shock when I say that you actually have to plan. What does your sex life, what do you want your sex life to look like? You know, we discuss our finances, we discuss how many kids do we want to have, where we want to live, but we don't talk about what do we want our sex life to be look like? How do we want it to last? And
You're so
I
right.
know, and
yeah.
yes, but if you don't plan for it and you don't prepare for it, it's not going to happen. So this is conversations, and it's difficult at first, but I think if you start slowly and start sharing things vulnerably, and also understanding that your partner, you know, you may have been thinking of something for a long time. So give your partner time to get accustomed to what you're asking them, and start with a small thing. You know, don't go straight into, oh my God, I love feet and I've got an absolute foot fetish. Maybe kind of say, put your feet on my lap. Oh, you've got beautiful feet. Yeah, start small. And then you can go on to, do you mind if I kiss them? You know, or it's about allowing the other person to show their vulnerability, but it's worth it. It reaps unbelievable relationship dividends if you are prepared to show your vulnerable self. I can tell you, those are the couples that last, and those are the couples that have real relationship and sexual satisfaction. And isn't that what we all want?
Yeah. So what happened in cases, and I'm going to go to some WhatsApps and calls in a moment, but what happens in cases where, because I remember receiving a message during these kind of conversations on the show from a lady who says, one time, I think it was 4 weeks into this new relationship, and the guy went and bought like these stockings, and he wore them because it was like a fetish for him. He's always wanted to be in stockings, like these feminine stockings, whenever they're having sex. So she says, oh, like that for me was like, I wasn't really feeling it. It turned me off. That's what she said. And I just wondered then, so what do you do then? How do you introduce things? Because sometimes you've got your own stuff, like kinky stuff that you want to do with your partner, or they've got theirs. How do you make sure that, okay, this is being accepted at this level, and what do I do if I'm uncomfortable with it? What you are doing. Does it make sense?
So I think, first of all, yes, absolutely makes sense. So there are a few parts to that that comment that you just made. I think firstly, you know, the key there was they'd been together for 4 weeks. So I think before you pounce something like that onto someone, you obviously have to really know them well. You need to have conversations that show different sides of yourself, both in and out of the bedroom. And I think with that particular it's called homoeroticism. It's a fantasy that a lot of people have, believe it or not, lots and lots of people. And it doesn't actually mean that it's your sexual orientation. You know, he could absolutely be straight, but that he enjoys cross-dressing. That's a very common thing. So I think perhaps showing this side to him when they're only 4 weeks into the relationship was a little bit much for this woman. And did he just put them on without discussing it with her first? You know, that's what we were talking about earlier. Start slowly. Like, how would you feel? Let's watch something together where this is shown, and then say, does that appeal to you? Or how do you feel about dressing up? Oh, I quite like the idea of dressing up because it helps me get into someone, you know, that I'd like to be. So, or it helps me get out of my head. So it's how do you show your other side to the person, but in a way that lets that person catch up. But obviously in that instance, they were only 4 weeks into the relationship. So I think that was maybe a difficulty. And then I think the fact is that we are two different people. Yeah. And I think we need to be open to try new things. So I like to say you should narrow your no's and widen your yeses. Now, I am not suggesting you do something that is totally uncomfortable for you, that will have you rocking in the corner. I'm not obviously saying that. Obviously, do not do something that is going to make you feel very, very uncomfortable and regret it afterwards. But what I am saying to you, just as like we are open to say, oh, don't really like the idea of going to Japanese food. I don't really like raw food, but okay, let me try. Let me go to the restaurant. Let me see if there's anything else on the menu that I could order. You know, there are so many. The world is our sexual oyster, but we limit ourselves to a tiny little area of it. So agree to explore things with each other and try different things with each other. And maybe you won't absolutely love it, but maybe you will. And maybe you won't love it today, but you'll love it another time.
Yeah.
So you don't have to love everything, but try it and then try it again. And try aspects of it. You know, you don't have to go full tilt into, you know, wearing the stockings, but you know, perhaps that doesn't bother you. Perhaps you've never thought about it, but now when you think about it, maybe she was absolutely shocked when he just arrived in those stockings. But maybe when she had more time to think about it and she thought, okay, he wants to actually like, you know, completely give her pleasure whilst dressed in that way, or maybe it's something she could overcome. I'm not suggesting it is, but maybe it is.
Yeah, just be open. Yeah, just be open
Yes.
to trying something new. Okay, I've got some questions, some inputs from listeners coming through. Let's start with this WhatsApp on 072-702-1702.
Good afternoon or morning, Clement and team. You know, Clement, I just want to know from the doctor there, why is it that I feel the way I'm feeling? Like I feel so after the loss of my son. I have no feelings, like I don't want to do anything. Like I'm just not there. My mind is just all over my son, but intimacy, I cut off completely. Like I'm dead. When I say dead, Clement, dead. I don't have any feelings. Just please ask the doctor, will it last forever or is it just a phase? Or thanks, Clement. Bye.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your son. And this is quite a question that's also common, Nikki, when someone has gone through something traumatic, like in this case, the loss of a child, and you just lose any ounce of interest in intimacy and sex. Any ideas, advice you can give this person to, because maybe she could start small at some point when she's stable again. Any advice for her?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, also, I'm so sorry. I mean, that is it's just something you can't even fathom. And I think that's what you have to understand, is that there's a loss of yourself there with the loss of your child. And for you to be able to get back pleasure is something that will happen, but will happen slowly, because this was such a huge part of your life. And I think you just need to be kind to yourself and understand that, of course, pleasure is going to come back into your life. And perhaps in a way will be even sweeter, because you'll realize, you know, a lot of people find with loss that pleasure can feel even sweeter, because you realize that this life is so fragile and what we have is so transient. And with time, hopefully you'll be able to embrace the pleasure that you deserve, that you're not that you're not being disloyal to the loss of your son by having pleasure. You're just still here, and you deserve to kind of live your life the best way you can. So I think firstly, be kind to yourself. It will happen. It will come back to you, and slowly, and maybe start very slowly, like allowing yourself to have a beautiful warm bath, or sit and sip a delicious cup of tea, or bite into a delicious chocolate and just taste that chocolate. Be mindful, because pleasure doesn't only start in the bedroom, it starts everywhere. And once you can start feeling pleasure everywhere, that's when you can start perhaps looking to bring it back into the bedroom. But please don't rush yourself, and be kind to yourself. You are not broken. This is a totally natural part of the loss that you have suffered.
Yeah. It's 24 after 11. More of your calls and WhatsApps after this.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons.
3 to 6.
Who do you wish would win the World Cup, and who do you think will win the tournament?
I hope Bafana win.
Okay, well, that's a hope.
Which team do I hope will win? Brazil. Which team do I think will win? Brazil.
Just imagine that the John Bafana lifting the World Cup trophy. So Bafana all the way.
Ibafana le abayaziyo abazange bayibona shapa Bafana shapa.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
Utumelo Ndlovu is running her first Comrades, but she's not running alone. She carries the faces of loved ones lost to cancer and the hope of children still fighting it. Every kilometer is a prayer, and every step is a promise to all the kids that Childhood Cancer Foundation South Africa supports. You know, that's someone who is showing up for them. This comrade, Celsi, asks, what are you running for? Tell them by tagging @Celsi on social media.
Insurance pulls you in. Pineapple pulls you under. Insurance. Pineapple. Insurance. Pineapple.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
You hear that? That's the sound of business execution finally visible. No more chasing people and reports, no more disconnected systems, no more guessing if our business is performing or not. iStratGo connects strategy, people, performance, and day-to-day work into one clear software platform, so leaders can see what's working, what's not, and where to focus. Because when execution is visible, everything runs better. Book a demo on istratgo.com. istratgo.com.
Good morning, Mzansi. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It's Thursday.
No.
TGIF, am I right? Citroen Super Saturday is back. Yes. Test drive or buy any Citroen and stand to win a world-class rugby experience. South Africa versus New Zealand, 5 September. Double your entries with the all-new Citroen Basalt from 354,900 Rand with up to 40,000 Rand deal assist. Book at citroen.co.za. Runs till 30 June. T's and C's apply.
What if the problem you faced became the business that changed everything? That's what Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 is all about. With this year's theme, My Pain, My Purpose, My Solution. We're calling on small businesses that turned real challenges into powerful ideas. You could win 200,000 Rand in cash, plus mentorship, business support, and tools to help you grow sustainably. Enter the Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 now at primemediaplus.com or igniteyourbusiness.co.za. See money differently. Nedbank, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Relationship issues?
Relationship talk.
On 702.
27 minutes after 11 o'clock, we are on our sex and relationship feature this morning, doing a sex and intimacy Q&A. And I'm asking you if you've got any questions you want to ask about sex, intimacy, desire in your relationship. You can give us a call on 011-883-0702. D is calling us from the East Rand. D, good morning.
Good morning, Clement. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I have a little issue. My partner is 43, and then I'm 40. We've been together for 3 to 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
During our early times, we usually we can have it anywhere in the house.
Mm.
We can, even on our road trip, everywhere, any corner of our house, we can try and have some session together. But then now for the past 5 months, 6 months down the line, we hardly touch each other. Even for like 4 to 5 months now, we've never touched each other.
Mm.
And anytime that you get close to her, she doesn't want it. So I don't know whether she's tired of it or she doesn't want it anymore, because she always keep on giving me an excuse. I must be reading. I must take enough rest. Like, I don't know what to do anymore. And the last time I ended up telling her that I'm sexually frustrated.
Sure.
I don't know what to do.
Okay. And is there anything that's happened in recent time, D? Is there the children that have come into your lives? Is she stressing about work? Has she taken up a new position? Is there anything drastic that's happened recently?
Okay, so she has taken up a position, but then that is actually not even the situation. It started way back before even she started a new role.
Okay. Okay, so you're just wondering what could be the issue then. Yeah, D in the Eastern. Thank you so much. What can he do, Nikki? Because, yeah, I mean, it all starts like that with everyone, right? You can have it anywhere in the room, and then a few months later, a few years later, the dynamics change completely.
Absolutely. And this is why I actually wrote Sexponential, is because the reality is great sex is something that is built and created. It is not just something that happens automatically. It's a skill set that we learn. Now, unfortunately, at the very beginning of a relationship, the neurochemicals that are coursing through our body make us think it's different. They make us think that actually sex is absolutely easy, that it just comes to us, that desire should just be there at all times. But the reality is we can't survive in that state of effectively drunkenness. And those neurochemicals, they stop kind of coursing through our body, and we come back to our norm. And now is the time we have to start working on having great sex. And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is that we don't talk about it at the beginning. And that's when we should be talking about it. We should be saying, you know, this is amazing how it is with us at the moment, but it's not going to last. So what are we going to do when things change, when we go back to our norm, which is often, and that's where we talk about desire. I know we've talked about desire, but remember there are spontaneous desire people who are often men when we talk about gender. So that happens when it comes in anticipation of pleasure. So remember, a man, and I'm just using a man, but it doesn't have to always be men, is more like a frying pan. Gets hot quickly. And then you have responsive desire people who they need to respond to pleasure. So in other words, the pleasure happens first and then they respond. Okay, so that's more like a oven, which you have to keep turning up the dial. So you need to know now your partner may have suddenly gone back to being a responsive desire person, because at the very beginning, even a responsive desire person might look like a spontaneous desire person. Because what happens is you think you're not preparing for it. You think you're not working at sex. But the reality is at the very beginning of a relationship, you get ready for dates. You try and impress each other. You dress up. You do your waxing and shaving. You know, you wear your aftershave. You make an effort to get to know the other person and what they like and to please them. But as we become more normal and familiar with each other, we stop making that effort. So for the responsive desire person, they might never want to have sex because they're not being pleased. They're not given pleasure first. So it's like asking you to want to do a burpee as you wake up. You know, there are very few people who want to do a burpee as they wake up. But once they get the blood flowing, once you get things going. So I think let's go back to D. And I think, D, have you said to her, how can I give you more pleasure? I can see that you don't want to do it. And often what happens is when you keep saying you never want, how are you saying this to her? Are you blaming her? Are you know, that's a big thing.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about it after the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Let's quickly do that. It's 11:33. Bali has the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Bali, Samuel Mashaba, he's been grilled here at the Madlanga Commission.
That's correct, Clement. A very good morning. Well, the Gauteng Traffic Police Chief Samuel Mashaba is now being grilled over whether he verified that a truck transporting cocaine in 2021 was indeed connected to a case he claims to have been investigating. Mashaba is testifying before the Madlanga Commission about his presence at the July 2021 drug bust in Ayrton in the south of Joburg. This is where more than 700 kilograms of cocaine was seized from a truck travelling from Durban. Self-proclaimed political fixer Brown Mogotzi's bail woes are far from over. Mogotzi appeared briefly in the Johannesburg Regional Court today to bring a new bail application based on what his lawyer calls new facts. The court turned down his bail application last week after he provided police with 3 incorrect addresses, raising concerns that he could evade trial. And in the Western Cape, Eskom says while some areas in the Overberg region remain without electricity, progress is being made with restoration efforts. The utility says its recovery teams have been working around the clock under challenging conditions to fix most storm-related network faults. Well, those are the headlines. This EWN and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Travelling in Parktown, we've got an accident on the M1 North. It happened right after Jan Smuts Avenue. It's causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic along the N3 North. This is between the Van Buren Road exit and the Kilulis interchange while heading towards the Kilulis turnoff. We've got some issues along this route. This is just as you approach the Kilulis turnoff coming out of Edenville Road. And then in the city of Tshwane, some issues on the N1 South. This is in fact a stop and go situation reported between Rigel Avenue and the Flying Saucer interchange. More updates at the top of the hour. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. It's easy to apply. No medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Imagine a holiday where the only thing on the to-do list is enjoy yourself. With Norwegian Cruise Line, you can sail to over 400 destinations worldwide effortlessly. Visit ncl.com for the best deals or contact your travel agent today. Norwegian Cruise Line. It's different out here. T's and C's apply.
The countdown to Africa's greatest horse racing and social event is on. On Saturday, 4 July, the Hollywood Bets Durban July takes over Hollywood Bets Greyville Racecourse in a dazzling celebration of country allure, where style and entertainment take center stage. Your general access ticket also unlocks an incredible live music experience featuring Grammy Award-winning artists Zakes Bantwini and the Ensemble, and some of Mzansi's biggest stars like Mikasa, Will Linley, Tamara Day, Vicky Sampson, Supreme 3, Will Reyes, and Angel Masibugo. Country charm meets rustic glamour in a celebration like no other. Be part of one of South Africa's most iconic events. Get your tickets now at Ticket Pro.
My name is Richard Sutton, and I'm the host of the podcast Shift Happens. This podcast is about you, about transformation, elevation, and becoming the best version of yourself. Each episode shares powerful, hard-won lessons from prominent South Africans who have faced doubt, change, and early failure and emerged transformed. Don't miss Shift Happens, the tools, insight, and skills to help you navigate the real realities of life. Now streaming on PrimeMediaPlus.com, the Prime Media Plus app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Relationship issues?
Relationship talk.
On 702.
23 minutes before 12 o'clock. What are your sex and intimacy questions? Anything goes. We've got Nikki Brivik of asknikki.co.za. She's a sexual wellness coach, but also the author of Sexponential. And in a moment, I want you to tell the listeners about Sexponential in a moment, because someone else is also asking about how they can get in touch with you. So you'll share that with us. But before, you wanted to talk about D as well. So let's wrap that up and then we'll move on.
Perfect. So I just wanted Dee to think about how is he approaching his partner about the the change in their sex life? Is it blaming? Is it, why do you never want to have sex with me? Because that's often what happens. Or you know, there's like the approach that is not really attractive, like the boob grab or the, you know, the nudging while the person's trying to cook, or, you know, that kind of thing. So rather have a proper conversation. Have you asked her, what has changed? I miss us. I miss connecting like we used to. What is happening? How can we create the sex life that we used to have, or similarly to have it? You know, and I think that's the important thing. It's, again, communication, but not blame. Treat it like you are a team and you want to work together to find the right solution for you.
Yeah. Okay, let's now talk about your book that's coming up. You're launching it. In fact, you are here in Johannesburg on Wednesday, so I'll see you at Exclusive Books on Wednesday.
Yes.
But there's an opportunity for people to come and attend one of the launches. And what I really like about how you've structured this, Nikki, is that you are inviting people to an evening where there can be honest conversations about intimacy, about desire, about communication, about connection. So someone can bring their lover, their partner, and get some advice. Where is this happening, and how many tickets are you giving away to our listeners this morning?
Okay, so it's happening on Thursday next week at the Wild Side in Craighall Park, which is a great venue. It's very sexy and it's got these great signs all over the place and lots of animal print, which I love. And basically it's going to be just a fun evening. I've got Kutso Toledi with me because I'm often on radio with her, and she's so fun. And we're just going to have a really fun evening. So I want people to come, bring their friends, bring their partners, you know, bring their employees. Because remember, all of us who are having better sex are better people. So, and it's just going to be a fun evening, goodie bags, snacks, wine. It will be lots of fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm going to give away 3 sets of 2 tickets each. So if you follow me on ask.nikki on Instagram, ask, as in ask a question, .nikki, Nicki, and you comment Sexponential on my post, on my latest post, and then DM me why you want to come, and hopefully you'll win one of the 2 sets of the 3 sets of tickets that I'm giving away for next Thursday, Thursday evening.
Okay, so ask.nikki, go check that out on Instagram and go check her latest post. And if you comment there with Sexponential, then her team will respond to you. But how do people get a hold of you? That was the question we got earlier.
Okay, so if you can go onto my website, which is asknikki.co.za, or on Instagram, you can DM me. On email, it's nikki at asknikki.co.za. So yeah, and I'm also on all the other social platforms too.
Got you. All right.
And my book will be in stores next week,
From
Clement.
next
You are going to, and I'm hoping some people will also come to Exclusive Hard Park to meet you in person.
Yes, I'll be there on Wednesday. Let's go to some WhatsApps now on 0727021702.
Morning, Clement, and your guest. Why does it always seem like the male is the instigator of sex? The female is like, okay, we can do it, but it's generally the male who is assumed to want it. And even when she wants it, she's going to say something like, I'll come over tomorrow because I know you want it. You know, what's so hard for a female to just say, hey, I miss you, I want you, hey.
Why is it so hard? Because mostly the men are the initiators, or the expectation is that. I mean, to a point where when women do initiate, there's some men who sort of look at it like, ooh, why is this woman initiating, as if they are the ones that must always do the initiation. What's the reason behind that, and how do we tilt that balancing act?
So you're absolutely right. It's a cultural problem and a societal problem. I mean, we basically kind of taught that good girls don't want sex, you know. And then what happens is we get married or, couple up, and then we expect it to want sex all the time. You know, it's very difficult to know what you're meant to do. And I think it just needs to change. We need to start liberating the conversation around sex. We need to start accepting that we are all different, that we all have different wants and needs. And that is why my passion is opening up this conversation, that it is normal, that everything is normal. Because that's what I find is so many of us think we are broken because we don't fit the absolute kind of narratives that we are fed. Because, if you're a man who doesn't have spontaneous desire, you're more of a responsive desire person, you can often feel broken. Why is it? I never want to just have sex like my friends do. And they're embarrassed. They don't want to talk about it. But I have had lots of men who have responsive desire, who need more pleasure in order for them to want to have sex. But they're too embarrassed to even mention it. So we need to change this. You are you. And you are perfect and you are just right. So stop shooting all over your sex life.
Yeah.
Whatever is good for you is fine.
Yeah, I've got a message from Anonymous on the WhatsApp line who says, thank you, Clement, for today's topic. I can relate to the previous caller's situation about a partner who doesn't want intimacy. My husband and I have been married for 10 years. I'm naturally a very intimate and sexual person. He, however, is not. The number of times we have sex diminishes every year. It could even be once a month or once every 5-6 weeks. This is frustrating for me, and I have shared this with him. I even asked him if I should seek pleasure elsewhere, and he responded by saying, then why should we even be together then? But then what do I do in this instance? Frustrated and upset. That's a message from Anonymous.
Yeah, I feel for you because this is a lot of people feel this way. And again, it comes down to perhaps not sharing it in a way that can be heard. So perhaps your partner felt like you were looking to go somewhere else. I don't know. I don't know how you spoke to him about it. But I do think that there is a responsibility for the other partner to also come to the party. That's why I was saying we need to widen our yeses and narrow our nos. Because if you just say no to your partner, eventually that partner is going to feel rejected and not desired. And we all want to feel wanted. So I think, that's the thing. We can't just say no in a relationship. We need to find a happy medium. And there is a happy medium if you talk about it. So first of all, is your partner saying no to penetrative sex? Would they be willing to try something else? Perhaps mutual masturbation, or just watching you while you masturbate, or listening to something sexy and kissing and cuddling, or, having a soapy shower together. I don't know, but there are other ways. There is, remember, sex is much more than just penetration. So often it's the thing that gets you going. When you try different things, you eventually want more. It's a little bit like exercise.
Yeah. Another one says, hi Clement, Anonymous here. How do you deal with a partner who's comfortable with routine sex, missionary style, and me on top? Not that he is against anything, but he never volunteers to introduce anything new or openly talk about what he likes and what I like. Every time I ask him what he likes, he says anything and never really asks me what I like. We've been together for 16 years, but he's just not comfortable talking about this. How do I deal with that?
So I think show him, be specific. You take the lead. You actually move his hand. Actual feedback during sex, the more specific you are, the better it is, because a lot of people don't even know what they want. So you need to try it in order to know. So I think here, you take the lead. Say, let's try this, or actually move him, shift your pelvis. Say, can we go and explore getting a toy together? Or, I saw this position. Follow me on Instagram. I give lots and lots of tips and advice. Say, blame it on me. Say, look what she's saying we should try. Why don't we try this? So I think basically you take the initiative instead of just expecting him to.
Yeah. Okay. 13 minutes before 12 o'clock. More of your WhatsApps and calls after the break.
We could tell you we are the best bank in Africa, but if you're a CEO or CFO looking to grow, you're probably more interested in the numbers, like the fact that our systems process $9 trillion every year. That's around 45 times the value of all intra-Africa trade. And that our custody network safeguards 17.7 trillion rand in assets. Those are big numbers. And a big reason to grow with us. Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The groundbreaking musical Nkoli, A Fierce and Fabulous Life, returns to the UJ Theatre on the Kingsway campus in Auckland Park this weekend. Nkoli celebrates the life of Simon Nkoli, who was an anti-apartheid activist, LGBTQI+ pioneer, AIDS activist and organizer of Joburg's first Pride March. Nkoli explodes on the stage, combining voguing, dance, rap, and video projections. It's the powerful story of a remarkable young freedom fighter who changed South African history. There are 3 performances only this weekend of Nkoli at UJ's theatre before it heads to Germany for its premiere. Nkoli tickets are available now on Quicket.
Kaelo Lifestyle, a mental wellness and support program for employees and their families, is calling on you to take a step towards better mental health. As the mental wellness partner of 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, Kaelo is bringing even more purpose to the walk. From checking in with yourself to celebrating connection, every step is designed to support your well-being. So rally your team and walk for mental wellness. Visit primemediaplus.com for more information. Kaelo Lifestyle, changing lives and improving business. On 702, let's walk the talk.
I heard her interviews run smoother because she somehow finds the right people the first time around.
Yeah, it's like she already knows who fits where before they even sit down.
She must have gone for special training, like some Sixth Sense HR certificate.
No, guys, it's SA Youth, the largest youth online recruitment platform. It's fast to post, effortless to use, and effective every time.
Recruit on the portal to potential. sayouth.co.za, powering South Africa's youth workforce.
Relationship issues?
Relationship Talk
On 702.
It's 10 minutes before 12 o'clock. All right, let's wrap up with more of your questions around sex and intimacy with Nikki Breivik, who is a sexual wellness coach. There's a message here from Anonymous Nikki who says, "Hi Clement, please keep me anonymous. Can you please ask Nikki there on how to deal with this situation? I introduced my partner to massage, which includes massaging his penis until he comes. But once he's done that, he will be more satisfied and no longer have the desire to do anything to me. I will be left all horny. What do I do? And when I am exploring my body, I usually make myself come through fingering inside, and it doesn't really happen during sex. Is there anything wrong there? Please advise."
Absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, it's great that you're getting to know your body and exploring it. And I think you need to share that with your partner. What turns you on, what gets you going, how you like to come and how you like to get pleasure. And perhaps say to, while you are pleasing him, please yourself. Because 2 times the pleasure is double the pleasure. And then it's always more enjoyable. So, or perhaps kind of pleasure him until just before he comes, and then make him pleasure you. Tease him.
And then another one says, "Clement, I dropped a relationship. The guy was so endowed, always wanting it, and I would get torn because he wouldn't wait for me to heal. And I did try to use lubricant, but it did not help." So in instances like that, what advice do you have when someone constantly says, "Let's do this again," but you are still trying to recover?
Well, I think that's a broader issue, is the person isn't really taking the time to pleasure you, to get you warmed up. Because the reality is that you can generally take a penis, whatever size, as long as you have been warmed up enough. And remember, women need more to get them going. So if the person is not really concerned about getting you going, well, then you've got to question yourself, am I with the right person? Because why would he only want to get pleasure and actually harm you, never mind pleasure you? So I think you did the right thing. But that was the one thing. What was the... and just for some people who are very, very well endowed, if their partner is very, very small, there are actually devices that can help you. Like, there's something called an O-nut, which actually is looks like a donut, and it kind of prevents the penis from going all the way in, but it still feels really good for the penis and for the vulva owner. So, there are things that can be done for almost anything. You just need to be able to ask, and you need to be able to know where to look.
Yeah. Excuse me. Whoa. Let's go to some other questions. There was a question I got on Twitter. I'm trying to look for it here. But in essence, it was a lady who was asking, should I be concerned about my partner who's constantly asking me for anal sex? So this is a heterosexual couple, Nikki. And the lady was saying, I did it once or twice or 3 times with the partner, but he keeps on coming back to want more. So she says she's beginning to have some concerns. Should that be a concern? And nowhere in the message did she say she's not enjoying it. I think her more concern is, why are you constantly and often asking that we do it like that?
So anal sex is an absolutely normal form of pleasure. It's just more pleasure is more. As I like to say, more is more. And there's no reason you need to be concerned. For some people, they really like it. It can feel really kind of dirty and, something different. It makes you feel a little bit kinky maybe. And maybe that's why he likes it. But perhaps ask him, why do you like it? And if you enjoy it, what's the problem with that? Just make sure that you never, ever have anal sex and then put a dirty penis in the vagina, because that would be a problem, because you can, transfer bacteria and that. But otherwise, there's absolutely no reason not to explore all your body parts and enjoy all the pleasure you can get from all of them.
That's it. And then we have got someone who's talking about the body image and how it's affecting my sexual confidence. What do I do? And there are instances where people's body images, they start being insecure and they're just struggling to fully be present in that sexual moment. Any advice for them?
Yeah, so, that is a difficult thing for some people. And I think, the thing is, we need to focus on what our bodies can do for us, not what they look like. Because we have one life and one body. And this body is a vehicle of unbelievable pleasure. And if we allow and look at ourselves like that we are entitled to this pleasure, we just have to kind of get over it. Obviously, be the best you can be. Be as healthy as you can, exercise, sleep well. But we all look different and we all are different. And then there are other ways to overcome that. Candlelight is everyone looks good in candlelight. So light a candle. Sometimes if you close your eyes and you think, well, I can't see anyone, they can't see me, just do whatever it can that can make you feel better. So, even if it's going somewhere else, dress up, wear a wig, pretend to be someone else. And maybe you'll be able to get out of your body. So stop judging yourself and try and find hacks to get over yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Nikki, thank you so much for always being available to speak to us. So we'll see you on Wednesday at Exclusive Books when you're launching Sexponential. And then for those who want to attend the Thursday chat with Nikki, you can just go to her Instagram, Nikki, ask.nikki. So just go ask.nikki and then go to her latest post. And if you post Sexponential there, you could win yourself tickets to this chat on Thursday. See you next week, Nikki.
Yay. Thank you, Clement. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's 3 minutes before 12 o'clock.
Outsurance business insurance, the cost was far less. I even have better benefits.
Outsurance business insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you get 24/7 access to panic assistance, roadside assistance, and even office assistance for guest houses, catering companies, and all other businesses. Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance business insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
702 Josie, my Josie Walk the Talk is calling on you to walk with the people, for the people on Sunday, the 26th of July, Babiza Bonke. And this year, you can choose from 3 different inner city routes. The 8-kilometer 44 Main Street route takes you from Ellis Park through Maboneng and Joel City and past the Field of Dreams and Maharashi Invisibility Institute, you then go through the main street precinct, Gandhi Square, and past the Carlton Center, finishing off at Ellis Park. So whether you're taking on the 8-kilometer, 5-kilometer, or 15-kilometer route, enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
Day 42 in my new kitchen. I'm currently staring at the seamless handle profiles and integrated LED lighting of this masterpiece of modern architecture. My husband thinks I'm making a sandwich, but I'm just running my hands along the porcelain countertops for the 10th time today. I've even started speaking exclusively in a British accent to match the opulence. For a bespoke culinary space, visit Moremi Kitchens today at moremikitchens.co.za.
Coming up
On the Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
How are you doing, Mandy?
Good, thanks, Clem.
What
I'm
are
not
we
running Comrades this weekend, so I'm great.
Yeah, just pray for us. Do what you gotta do. What's popping today on the show?
Brown Makotsi back in court for a bail application appeal. We'll get an update on that. Also, an update from the Madlanga Commission and the Ad Hoc Committee in Parliament. Police in KwaZulu-Natal holding a briefing. They are preparing for the Comrades because Clement Manyathela is coming down. And many others. You're not in Mexico. Did you see Panyaza Lasufi's in Mexico?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, but he's on leave. We just checked with his office.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, why are you not there?
Yeah, great question. Ask Prime Media. Anyway.
Ask your bosses that.
We'll look at the role of business in saving Joburg. And it's Friday.
Sports.
And good things,
too. All right, that's what's coming up on the Midday Report with Mandy Wiener. My friends, thank you for listening to the Friday edition of the Clement Manyathela Show. We'll be back with you on Monday after Comrades between 9 and 12. If you're running Comrades or you're supporting, all the best. I can't wait to see you on the road. It's 12 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Gauteng Traffic Police Chief Samuel Mashaba is being grilled over whether he verified that a truck transporting cocaine in 2021 was connected to a case he claims to have been investigating. Mashaba is testifying before the Madlanga Commission about his presence at the July 2021 drug bust in